against Big Butler. The 21-year-old who's come from Coburg, ready to impress here for the Magpies this afternoon. Port Adelaide going to the northern end of Alberton Oval. Schooler up high, taps it down, can't get a clean possession here. Port Adelaide worked it out towards the centre wing. Big bump from Polton, the altitude hasn't affected him. He goes and gets it off the ground again. Umpires picked out a free kick, and it's going Polton's way. He plays on quickly, has some runners on the outside. It's Flash Francis, Fabian Francis back in a Magpies jumper, kicks it out wide. In front of the Alan Scott Power headquarters, McDowell in the chase for it, gathers it, was second to the ball, but picked it up cleverly, goes to the top of the square, need a big flyer, off to hide in there for Centrals, couldn't quite. Thomas also back there, holds it, keeps it in play, cleverly done, he links with Arnott. Arnott has time to go by hand over the top to Elijah Ware. He goes in short, the big fella there, Schooler, he takes the mark. Some attention given too from Wilson there. Not messing around, James Wilson, of course. Schooler has it. Half-back flank, grandstand side of Alberton Oval.
Here we go, the Doggies. They surge forward. Haven't been past centre in the opening minute of this game. They go towards the grandstand wing, rowed beautifully by the Doggies. Ware, who kicks into side forward 50. One-on-one contest, too high, I thought. Play-on's the call. Fegan was the player who infringed. I thought it could have been a Doggies free kick. They'll get out of trouble, though, Port Adelaide, or will they? Good pressure. Francis releases a nice handball. Behind play, Wilson opens the passage for Polton, who gives, and off they go. Cockatoo Collins in the middle of a chain of handballs, and a nice kick forward through Davis to the top of the square, but it's marked by off to hide. Last line of defence, the Doggies.
Did well, he got clear of the big fellow in Ackland there, off to hide, and took a good defensive mark. The Bulldogs now go around the outer side of the Alberton Oval. Thomas with his left foot up towards centre wing. Looking for a strong lead, couldn't quite. Quinton Graham in there, working pretty hard.
Yeah, they are too. Plenty of pressure out there at the moment. This time the free kick will go to the Doggies. And they'll have it from the outer side of the ground. Steinburner kicks to on the arc of the 50. Nicely roved again by Ware, who was in the right spot, just couldn't get a handle on it. A ripper tackle opens the door, and just as Quinton Graham was going to kick on goal and does, I thought the umpire might have paid a free kick. He didn't. The first score of the afternoon to the Doggies.
Great hard
just
pressure
one behind.
Typical first up Port Central Districts. You'd expect nothing less.
Yeah.
It's a hard game in the minute.
I tell you what, they are hard at the body though, Port Adelaide. That's one thing that stood out already. When the ball's in dispute, they're more than happy to take the body first before going for the ball.
Sorry, Poppy, big long kick in. The full-back has actually come over the kicking line. It was a kick looking for Butler. Funk was the kicker. So we're going to have a bounce down top of the square. Big chance here for the Bulldogs.
Cardinal sin, boys. Should never commit that.
Can never work it out, can you? Why someone would go so close to even have the umpire looking at it. The Gowns kiddies error in there, letting Funk know all about it too. Both with the shaved heads. You might have seen in the paper, raising some money for cancer, which is a wonderful thing to do. And gee, if they weren't ugly enough to start with, they are really ugly now. Ball bounced down in the goal square, fisted through by Corey Archie into the goalpost. A rush behind, the second score of the afternoon. 2 behinds for Central District. Port Adelaide yet to score.
Bit harsh there, Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Funky brings it in defensive 50 mark though, so 2 kick-ins, one an infringement, the other an opposition player. Not the ideal start. They go again, the Doggies. They've been offline on 3 occasions now in the opening 2 minutes of this SANFL match of the round. Port v Central. 3 behinds to Central District. Port Adelaide have surged forward on a couple of occasions and looked okay, but just on the last line as they went searching for Ackland, just haven't been able to finish it off. Here they go looking for Polton though, half back flank. He dropped what he should have taken. One of his traits, just lacks concentration on at times. Arnott now opens the door, nice work too. It is to Hopwood, top of the square.
Oh!
We've got a contender for flare curtains and blinds, mark of the day. It's an absolute cracker, and I reckon after that penalty, it's a walk-up goal. Luke Cowan was the player who we've seen in recent years. He's quite capable of doing that every so often. And when he's hot, he's hot. Luke Cowan, you're hot. One goal. Well done. 139. The Doggies. Port Adelaide yet to score. You're listening to Footy on 5DN.
Wonderful work there from Cowan. He really presented himself at centre half forward last year and started to show some signs of taking a game apart and dominating in that position. They'd struggled to find someone to fill that spot for them, Central District, but a great mark, Jack.
Oh, flare curtains and blinds. Ronnie Stenner will be happy with that. That'll go a long way to be better than that today.
No doubt about it. Back in the middle, set to go again. The Magpies need something. Bad bounce by the umpire. Schooler gets the fist forward, comes towards Cochrane, couldn't quite. Storming through there, Wilson, he couldn't lay the body on. Spills forward for the Bulldogs. Chad Davis goes in there, wearing his new jumper, the Magpies jumper this year with the Roosters last year. Plenty of players around the footy. Free kick could go the Magpies' way. The fans like that. In with his head over the footy, the Magpies come up with a free kick. Quick give off to Archie. That was Pasquale that gave it to Archie. and he gets it up towards centre wing. Cockatoo Collins releases the new skipper and Tony Brown, the former Saint, goes long. He sets a task for Ackland. He's got a couple to beat. Big fly, couldn't quite hang on to it. Almost another contender for mark of the day. Hacked out of the air, player on the ground. Keep an eye on that, Poppy. Clever kick from Bolton, dribbles it towards the goal. Almost Stuart Dew-like, trying to copy his power teammate there, Jared Polton, but through for a minor score. Port's first score of the afternoon, one behind. The Bulldogs 1-3.
That was Heath Hopwood who put his body in line there. Beautiful work. Courageous. He's up and running.
So the doggies go towards the outer side at Alberton Oval. Hopwood there is the target, and he grabs a good mark too, good solid mark. He was the Central District player in a sandwich of Port Adelaide players, takes it nicely, plays on quickly, good pressure by Port, just fumbles the kick. Cockatoo Collins, who's been busy early, takes it, kicks it back to forward 50. McDowell had the fly, couldn't take the ball. Hereda feeds off beautifully, and the doggies are out of trouble as they come grandstand side.
Ware got a bit of space. He's found a bit of space early in this contest. Gets clear. Good foot skills up looking for the Gowans. Kitty, it's James type towards the boundary line going for a bit of body. Polton comes in. I apologise, it was Chris. The umpire says, Chris, you're a bit too over-exuberant there. And a free kick going Funk's way.
Nothing in it, boys.
Goes inside. The Gowans boys will do that all day long. There's no doubt about it. Back inboard to Brown, the skipper to Funk. Not a good hand pass. He set up his teammate there. Dragged to ground. Still manages to squeeze a hand pass out to Davis. Elstone it was that got the hand pass across towards centre half forward. This is where Port Adelaide have been let down. Mark taken and some rebound footy coming your way from the Bulldogs. It's little evil Roy Slade.
Yeah, Slade gets it after a handball from Arnott, kicks to centre half forward. Cowan, well, he's hot today. You can almost pick it, and that'll be a project for Matty Knights to work on. Archie has it at the moment. Cowan kicks to the top of the square. Some contact behind play. Play on to the call. Gowans, one of, grabs the ball, dispossessed, and Port Adelaide try to get out of trouble. They don't, because it's been roved beautifully by Richard Cochran, who is a goal kicker, and he started off season 2004 beautifully. Central Districts with their second of the afternoon, 2-3-15. The doggies, Port Adelaide just one behind. This is 5DN football.
Clown doctors help kids in hospital smile. Now they need your help.
Another flare curtain and blinds. Mark of the day taken there by Ross Funk. He goes quickly to the outer side. Port Adelaide had the footy. Clayton fumbles it. Couple of Bulldogs there and they take it off him. Too high, the umpire said, though. Lucky there, Clayton. He did fumble as he went to regather. Taken a touch high. Take him when you can get him, and Port Adelaide have got it now. They go inboard looking for Wilson. He had a couple of teammates there helping him out. Butler it was, but Wilson took the mark and he's gone long to the goal square. Ackland's the target. Also there flying high. Polton couldn't quite at ground level. Thomas is working hard. They've got some numbers, the Bulldogs. What can they do? Hopwood stands in the tackle, releases it eventually and sets Arnott free. He runs out of defensive 50. Shares it with Stein. Burner, not Stein, Borner. Comes centre wing grandstand side. 2-on-1 contest. Numbers with the Magpies and cleverly done by Cockatoo Collins and Archie. Cowan running pretty hot at the moment, Jack. We'll see what you think you might do if you were Matty Knights to try and stop him, because he's playing some good footy.
Here they go, Port Adelaide, change of direction. And Brown now, left foot kick, sloppy, goes searching for Polton. He gets a handle on it though, favourable bounce, waits on Hopwood. In fact, Hopwood waits on Polton. A quick kick around the corner. This is where they're breaking down. Taken high, surely, yep. Good decision. Dangerous hit on the body. Player.
He's hurt the big fella. That's Kane Ackland, I think, down there, just taking his time to get up.
Well, he had his head over the ball and he was there for the taking, but he had to do it illegally, did Hopwood, and he did it illegally. The free kick has been paid, but Ackland isn't at this stage capable of taking it.
Gee, that's scary when that happens. Remember Neil Sash years and years ago?
Yes.
Similar episode, bang.
Well, Ackland's just walking back to Jared Polton, who at the moment is holding the ball. He's going to make an observation of Kane Ackland. I'll let you know what that is in just a moment. But Ackland has the ball just on outside 50 in front of the Alan Scott Power headquarters. He goes inboard, but the kick's sloppy. Maybe as a result of that tackle. Bello cuts it off. And from defensive 50, look at this. There is plenty of room. One of the players with that room is Graham. Left foot kick. Can he find a teammate? He can.
He has Slade's run on well. He takes the mark and bursts onto 50. Leads on from full forward. Cowan comes back again. Gets his hand to a good contest. Put his hand in there rather. Shell it was that got in that contest. It was well done. He brings it front and square. The Magpies relieve. They dribble it towards the boundary line out of side. Umpires picked out a free kick though. It's going back down the field, going Port Adelaide's way. Didn't quite see what that was for there, Steve.
Yeah, Cockatoo Collins was hit late. Great courage though shown by him.
Well too.
Poor kick by the Magpies. Sorry, Poppy goes to centre wing. Chris Gowans takes the easiest of chess mark. His kick on the left foot is equally poor in front of the scoreboard there, and the Magpies mop up. They switch play, they come grandstand side.
Well, should have been some movement. There was, eventually. Here they go, the Magpies, with a couple of options. Not all of them are free running, but Funky's one of them. He'll take the ball. He took a beautiful mark just a few moments ago. A contender, as we said, for the Flare Curtains and Blinds mark of the day, as Port Adelaide go inside 50. But they're breaking down badly here, and part of the problem is Ackland is waiting and trying to use some height and strength rather than what he's got a bit of too, pace, and hit to be seen as a target. Nevertheless, Bolton dispossessed. The Doggies, they're good in this back half. They've been solid in the opening minutes of this first quarter. Scoreboard, Central District 2-3-15. Port Adelaide 1 behind. The ball on the outer side of Alberton Oval, with the Magpies kicking to the northern end. Central District obviously to the southern end, and they've had most of the play. They've been using the ball beautifully.
Boys, Port just bombing it in.
Yeah.
Forward lines. They've got to have some movement up forward.
Yeah, they're going to find a winner now. I think Butler's drifting forward now. He calls someone else into the ruck contest on the outer side. Port Adelaide come away with it cleverly. Alston, he's been good early for the Magpies. Number 14, the recruit from Hawthorn. Butler coming through. Good body on there too. He's another likely type they've got playing for them. Big fella. They can't keep possession. Comes away for Raider. His kick's a poor one. Wilson has a chance to hurt the Doggies now. He has it centre wing grandstand side. He goes looking for Andy McDowell. Can't quite. Spills loose. Tyson Hay mops up, a reliable defender. And they're just playing their good, consistent footy so far this afternoon. The Bulldogs are away. Kick finds Arnott. He gets it across to Slade. Lead is on, and Gowans takes it. James type, and he's got numbers on in the middle. Richard Cochran runs back with the flight of the footy. And gets in Shell's way in the end. Shell tries to tap it over. Couldn't quite. Sock it off the ground by Feegit. A chance for Bello. He couldn't. Feegit battling hard. Did well to keep the ball in possession. Elstone again, another touch. He's been very busy this afternoon. Hand passes over, sets up his teammate somewhat. Ball spills free inside Doggies 50. Can they get clean possession? They can't. It's messy football, and eventually Pasquale comes away with the ball in front of the scoreboard. Pokes a little pass over the top, and that's more sloppy football because it's gone out of bounds on the full. He's only just kicked at the 3 metres, Jack.
Just can't afford to do that against a good side like Centrals. They'll really hurt you as they go to attack now again.
I think that was just a result of some real good pressure at the body by Central Districts in their forward area. Here they go again. They'll kick to within 25. Cowan's been the target. He's been good target too. Cochran at the base of the pack's been excellent. Ware rode that nicely. Cocky's been busy. You need one of him up forward, one in the midfield. Only just got the one Cocky at the moment. They wouldn't mind having two Cockies. Port Adelaide kick towards half forward. Nice work. A good mark too by Simonella.
It's the Frenchman. He switches play, goes to the outer side. Heath Hopwood, the male model, they tell me down there at Bulldog Land. He's all over the place, modelling like you wouldn't believe. Big fly from Marco Bello, another contender for our Flare Curtains and Blinds mark of the day. This has been hot this afternoon, inside 50 for the Bulldogs. And they've got another shot on goal. Jack, this is too easy.
Which way do you go? Hey, these boys are in front. They play hard, Centrals. You just can't afford to make errors anywhere around the ground if you're a poor player at the minute.
Well, the big problem for Port Adelaide at the moment is they're getting enough drive up forward, but on the rebound, because it's coming out of their forward 50 so quickly, they've got plenty of space, the Doggies, forward of centre, and they're just running the ball beautifully. Here we go. Could be another one.
Ball with Gowan, sorry about that. He just pulled it a bit away to the left, minor score. He's not too happy. That was Chris type. Him and his brother always have plenty of battles as to who can get the most goals. We'll have a quick score update around the grounds.
Around the grounds at Prospect North and Geelong, it is, at Glenelg, it is 2-2. Glenelg to North, 1 goal, 1 straight to goal. At Optus Oval, it's Geelong 3-5-23, trailing Carlton 4-5-29. At the MCG, it is Kangaroos 5-4-34, leading Hawthorn 3-3-21. And at the SCG, it's Sydney 10-9-69 over Fremantle 8-9-57. Back to Alberton.
But there's been a change. Ackland off, Ricky O'Loughlin on. Fabian Francis kicks the ball out on the full. It was a good passage of play by the Magpies coming out of defence, but Eve Zibanella will take the free kick, right half back flank, with the Doggies kicking to the southern end. They just misjudged it. A couple of players in flight there. It was Graham and Funk that misjudged it. Ball spills over the boundary line, just to the right of our 5DN commentary position. We're here at the Alberton Oval, thanks to Angus Securities, the fixed interest specialists.
Butler and Schooler doing the ruck work. Schooler gets a tap down only as far as Brown. He's swamped by a couple of Bulldogs immediately. The pack forms and the umpire comes in to have a bounce. Still the attacking side of centre wing for the Bulldogs. Grandstand side of the Alberton Oval. That crowd has swelled, I reckon, in the last 15 to 20 minutes, Poppy. We're probably getting up towards 6,000 now, I reckon. It's a wonderful afternoon here at the Alberton Oval. Butler gets a tap down only as far as Davis. Cleverly on his back. He scoops a hand pass out towards Brown. That releases Polton through centre wing. Some good shepherding off the ball from Clayton. No one really on a long lead off the high there. O'Loughlin, what can he do? He gathers the ball at ground level. Kick on goal. He's got it.
Yeah, nice work there by Ricky O'Loughlin.
Well, he's come on off the ground. Is it a coaching genius to do that, or is it just luck?
You take it, don't you? You take it when you can get it. And Ricky O'Loughlin, I thought he was set up there. He had to wait for the ball, but he read it beautifully and then had the presence of mind not to panic. Just looked up, opened goal, settled and drilled it.
Knights will take the raps for that, but I'm sure he'll still be worried about even that goal was a bit lucky, like it landed in his hands after the poor entry into the forward lines.
Yeah, wouldn't disagree with that. So Port Adelaide are on the board in a big way. They are 1-1-7, Central 2-4-16. School are up against Hunter. Port Adelaide, well, they had the chance to have the centre break and just couldn't quite get through a pack of Bulldogs players, and here comes the Bulldogs themselves. Steinburner, not to be confused with Steinborner, who you'll find at Gawler. Steinburner plays for Central District. Kick off the ground by Port Adelaide in the defensive 50. I thought held without the ball, the Doggies. Play on's the call. The big man Hunter does the job of a rover. Fegert is tackled. In fact, it's Butler. He's the big man for Port Adelaide.
He could be a Hunter.
It could be. He could be. So there'll be a bounce down 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Central District kicking to the southern end, and they're leading 2-4-16. Port Adelaide 1-1-7.
Just looking at the windsock on the outer side, and Port Adelaide probably have a slight use of the breeze. It's not strong, but they do have it at their back. Shell gathers it off that ruck contest. Good smother from Archie. Still on the arc of 50. Archie bottles it up. Shell goes back in and gets it. Tries to scoop it out to Graham. Desperate players on top of the footy towards the boundary line. Can they get it free? No. It rolls
out
over. In fact, it came off the back of Evil Roy Slade's heel. Good spotting there, Rob Popplestone. Free kick going the way of Wilson. James type in front of the bowling club here at Alberton.
Sorry, boys. I was just saying he's got a good eye.
Thank you for that. Kane Ackland down in the dressing room, so that head-high hit a few minutes ago is still hurting as the Doggies go forward through Harada now after Hopwood dropped the mark. Harada to Arnott, and he's got Gowans, and it's Jay Gowans who kicks inside 50. Well, she was a shocking kick, and it beats Bello, doesn't beat Fegert, who's got time to handball. The handball was sloppy, but eventually it got to Wilson, who looks up and can't believe his luck. Fabian Francis with a bit of room to move. He feeds it off. McDowell waits when he should have went, and Hay said, thank you very much. Gives it to Steinburner, and he starts to charge forward again for the Doggies. Look at this.
Yeah, plenty of space on the outer side. Ball's loose. This is Chris Gowns, I think, this time running into an open goal. 25 out, shouldn't miss, and he doesn't. A good goal there, really made him pay, Poppy. You called it McDowell's error, and Centrals, this is where their disciplined footy will hurt you. They are on fire. They're 3-4, Port Adelaide 1-1. This is 5 the end footy.
Around the grounds at Prospect, Glenelg 2-2-14 over North, one straight goal. At the MCG, it's Kangaroos 6-5-41 over Hawthorn 4-3-27. Sydney marching on at the SCG 11-9-75 leading Fremantle 8-9-57. And at Optus Oval, it's Carlton 5-5-35 over Geelong's 3-5-23. Back to Alberton Oval.
And here at Alberton we see Central Districts 3 goals 4-22 leading Port Adelaide 1-1-7.
The Doggies go forward again, one-on-one. Graham Fegert. Graham front of the pack, that's where you should be. He'll get the first opportunity. The ball that spills just over the 50-metre arc. Looks up, kicks inboard. They're fairly good with their ball use, but that time Cochrane couldn't get it, and Polton picks up. Gives to Cocky, who's been busy. Back to Polton. Polton kicks towards his teammate there in Clayton, but the kick wasn't as good as it should be. Cocky again. Handballs to the advantage of his teammate, and that could be Roddy Burns, who's usually deadly around goal. Can he find a teammate? He can! Ricky O'Loughlin, who's kicked one, is 20 metres out on a fairly harsh angle.
First bit of system, boys. First bit of system for Port to go into their forward lines.
Looking good for Port Adelaide. Daniel Elston has had 7 touches, as had Cockatoo Collins and Chad Davis.
Thank you for that, Big John.
Ricky O'Loughlin will kick from 20 on a very harsh angle. The boundary line on his right side, just a few metres to his right, but he is usually good around goal. And I tell you what, the goal umpire does not move. There's 2 from 2 for Rick O'Loughlin. Port Adelaide 2-1-13. Central District 3-4-22.
I mean, boys, you look at the game and you think, well, Centrals, but you look at the scoreboard, they certainly haven't got away from them.
They've missed some opportunities, Central District, no doubt about that. I reckon Matty Knights will be itching to get down at quarter time just to explain how he wants them to set up this forward line. Now, he's got Ricky O working out of the full forward area there, but they've got to open up centre-half forward so they can run it through. They don't want to be bombing it long to centre-half forward. You saw before Poppy Herrera take that good mark over Clayton, who's sort of the pseudo centre-half forward, I suppose, at the moment. But
yeah, the loss of Ackland is sort of just takes a bit of height out of there, but it may have been a blessing in disguise because the replacement for Ackland, who was injured, is O'Loughlin. He's kicked 2. Port Adelaide out of the centre square. Polk will be the first man there. He can't take it. That might have been good fortune for Clayton, who gets a quick kick away and only carries a couple of yards, but it starts to threaten the Magpies forward 50. Not worrying about the ball there was Ware, which allowed Davis to get back into the play and get a free kick. So Davis, courtesy of an Arnott infringement, will get the kick. Grandstand side. He's 60 metres out.
Pops the pass over the top on the lead. There's Cocky, but dropping back into the space is the Frenchman. And Yves Sibinella takes the easiest mark. He looks to switch play. The Port Adelaide is zoned off over there. They're aware that's what the Bulldogs like to do. They like to open up the other side of the ground and run it back down. But they've zoned him off. He's got one in short. He uses that play. Good spotting there. Jack, it was Tyson Hay. Arc a defensive 50. The pressure's still on. He plays on Hay, runs away from Polton. Cocky chasing. Can he get away? Good turn of speed. Hay hand passes over the top to Herrera. He's not the quickest bloke, so he puts ball to boot and kicks towards centre half forward. Luke Cowan provides a contest. James Gowns in with a chance. Mopped up nicely there by Fabian Francis, who goes backwards and gives it to Butler. Butler's kick for a big guy isn't good in the middle of the ground. Marco Bello takes a diving mark. The Port fans think that was a bit lucky. His foot skills are better though. He goes to the outer side and finds a teammate. They maintain possession here. The Bulldogs, they go in short once more. That's a sloppy kick too. James Gowns runs onto it. He gathers it running towards the boundary line, snaps around the corner looking for Shell, provides a contest, but can only manage to force it out of bounds about 5 metres around from the behind post at the southern end. So he will have a boundary throw in. 22 plays 13, Central District in front.
Well, Darryl Wakelin out there doing a good job punching that ball over the boundary line. It's only 5 metres out now from the Central District goals. And it'll be Fegert contesting the ruck, but I think he may have infringed. In fact, he did. And that's always dangerous when you've got a makeshift ruckman contesting any ruck contest. And there'll be a free shot on goal now. It'll go the way of Graham for Central District. The Doggies lead by 9 points.
Free kick count at the moment, fellas. Port Adelaide 8, Central 4.
Well, that one was deserved. I thought I saw it there, but it was a bit sloppy by Fegert.
Yeah, well, you talk about ruckman, but Fegert's played enough footy to know what he can and can't do.
Exactly, and he can't give away free kicks in front of goal all this time. Has he been given a reprieve or not?
Nope.
No, he has not. It's cost you. 4-4-28, the Doggies now. Port Adelaide 2-1-13. We're into time on first quarter. It's 5 to end football.
Back here at Alberton Oval, Wilson with the footy, runs around a couple of men, centre wing, he switches play to the outer side, sets task for his Port Adelaide teammate, 2-on-1, McDowell, the shortest bloke in the pack, but he's good at ground level and he manages to gather it in. He releases a runner this time, Davis goes long inside 50, need a mark here at the front, O'Loughlin cleverly, a couple of juggles, the umpire played it too. Oh, the Magpies fans are like that, Bulldogs won't be too happy. He did well to get himself in the right position, I think he did. He got a couple of bites at it. One of those ones where on the third attempt he might have been just infringed and the umpire pays the mark, but this could be payback for the Magpies. On the scoreboard, Central District 4-4-28, Port Adelaide 2-1-13, O'Loughlin kicking from directly in front.
Well, Ricky O'Loughlin's going for his third, which means he should kick 12 for the game. If he kicks 12 every game for the rest of the year, he'll kick 240. It won't happen, will it?
No, but we'll see how he goes with this one. Lining up for number 3, as you said, Poppy, directly in front, should not miss the white boots. Have they let him down? The umpire's run to his right, but he's snuck it in, I think, O'Loughlin. He has. Port Adelaide had their third. 3-1 the Magpies to Central District 3-4. You're listening to 5 to end footy.
Presenting direct from Edinburgh Castle's
Thanks for that, Mark. We're the score here at Alberton Oval for the match of the day on 5DN, thanks to Angus Securities, the fixed interest specialists. Central District 4-4-28, Port Adelaide 3-1-19. Port Adelaide into attack. Ricky O'Loughlin has scored all three for the Magpies. I'll let you know who's kicked the goals for the Doggies shortly. Here we go. The Doggies are running out of defensive 50, and Mallow with a little bit of room on that left foot kicks to the advantage of Graham, or does he? No, cut off beautifully by the Magpies.
Funky.
And Funky on the right half-back flank for the Magpies takes a solid mark. Couple of options inboard. He's not sure which way to go. Can he find? Yes, he can. Nice work. Found Elston, or Elstone, Daniel Elston. Kicks towards Polton.
Catch number 10 for Elston.
Been very busy. Polton takes the mark. He's still 2 kicks from goal. He goes short. The lead is on. Islet it is. He gets there. Diving mark. Lovely mark from the young fella. Just playing his 10th senior game, Cameron Islet. Diving for the footy over there in front of the Alan Scott Power headquarters, and he's taken an absolute beauty.
A definite Glenburn Fabrics magic moment, boys.
It was
Terrific mark.
nice work from the young fella, and he's going to have a shot for goal. Probably kicking from 35 metres out, but he's on a fairly tight angle.
Tough to kick a goal from that area on the port ground.
Let's ride it with him now. Socks down, right foot up, lets it go now, lays back on it a bit. The goal umpire has not moved other than to signal with his one finger behind. Shay Cockatoo Collins behind the goal, rather Fabian Francis it was, trying to con the goal umpire. He conned me, it was a behind. Port Adelaide now 3-2, Central District 4-4.
Didn't call me, guys.
No, Thomas kicks the ball towards the outer side. Cocky cuts it off beautifully. One of their most prolific possession winners in this first quarter. Here they go again, the Magpies. The kick was cheap. It was a pitching wedge. Opened it up for Polton. A check side from 5 metres out. How's the goal umpire see it? Yes, indeed he do. Port Adelaide 4-2-26, trailing by just 2 points. Central District 4-4-28. This is 5DN football.
Di Pasquale kicks it towards half forward. It's Hopwood and Cockatoo Collins. Hopwood leads to the chase. Good tackle by Cocky. Ball spills free towards the boundary line. He goes back in, gets it again. Back to the skipper and Tony Brown. They're away and running the other Magpies. Kick to the top of the square. Islet's there. Can he shepherd it? Port Adelaide hit the front. No, infringement, I think the umpire's saying. Free kick, high advantage. It is the goal. Good work there by the Magpies. Very clever stuff. Trying to pick up who that was. Davis, I think, that kicked the goal in the end. He ran on well. The midfielders have been burning in the second part of this quarter.
You know whose goal it was, don't you? Jay Cockatoo Collins. Great chase of Hopwood. Caused the turnover. Opened up the door for Davis. And from 40 on the run, tight angle Jack.
Great.
Reminiscent of the old Woodville days. Steve Jacquia.
Yeah. Thanks, Poppy, for that. It cost me.
Just looking at some of the Port players, big possession winners. Daniel Elliston has 11, Davis 9, and Cockatoo Collins 9 as the quarter-time siren goes.
So at quarter time here at the Alberton Oval for 5DN's match of the day, thanks to Angus Securities, the fixed interest specialists. It is Port Adelaide 5-2-32, Central 4-4-28. A quick look at the goal scorers. Ricky O'Loughlin has 3 for the Magpies. Port Adelaide. Jared Polton has the single, and for Central District,
certainly unearthed some this afternoon. Butler in the ruck work, it is up against Schooler. No one got a decisive tap there. Came towards Brown, toe poked it in the Shea Cockatoo Collins direction. Up against Hopwood, a Dow defender. Couldn't quite gather it. Hopwood goes back in, just held off the footy. Ronnie Burns came through, applied a bit of physical pressure. And the umpire said Ronnie Burns was held onto there. Free kick going his way. Perhaps a touch soft there, Jack.
I would have played it on, plus brought out possession of the ball anyway, but not to worry.
Ronnie Burns, half-forward flank, grandstand side, waiting for something to present itself. The lead is on in the pocket. He's got to hit a target. It's going to be tough. Going back, taking a courageous mark there was James Gowns. Cameron Eilert was the player coming out on the lead, but James Gowns did well to fill in the space. He's got an option on short. It's Steinburner. Nice pass, finds him. Under plenty of pressure from Christian Di Pasquale, the former Coburg player in the VFL, up towards centre wing. Big fly. Chris Gowns takes the mark. He's got some runners. Hopwood's one of those. Pops a hand pass over. Paul Thomas away and running. Central District inside forward 50 with that kick from Thomas. Good mark taken there by Darryl Wakeland. Good to see him playing some good footy. He's directing traffic, sending Fabian Francis away on the outer side. They've got some numbers loose. What can the Magpies set up?
Well, they're looking through Bolton on the outer side of the ground, who might have a runner, has he? Yes, he goes indoors to Davis, who's kicked one this afternoon, now doing some good work in the back half. The Magpies go towards centre half forward, where Clayton presents nicely, despite some good pressure from Chris Gowans, who holds him down and wastes a few more seconds, as they do beautifully, the Gowans boys. In fact, a lot of the doggies side do. So Clayton just meters the Port Adelaide side of the centre circle, kicking to the southern end, but leading by 4 points, the Magpies. Clayton goes long. Can he find McDowell? He can't. Good fly, couldn't take the ball. Polton at ground level, looks one way, zips it up and comes back the next. Slade, nice work. Handballs, out of trouble, they're away. Through off to Hyde, who considers his options and then kicks long and strong to Gowans, who's got a runner, uses that runner. It is Swatala with a bit of room to move, runs 10 metres, kicks long, but it looks as though the Magpies or Cowan took the mark. Well, in fact, it wasn't Cowan. You'll find that it was Daniel Shell, who took the mark. He looked like Cowan the way he flew for that ball, but it was Daniel Shell that took the mark. And he'll kick from just inside 50 with the doggies, as I said, trailing by 4 points.
Quick movement there from Centrals. That was the key factor there. But, boys, you got to take marks. When they get up that high, umpires should not pay those marks, I reckon.
Yeah, I don't think he had a handle on it for long enough, although in saying that, we saw O'Loughlin, we think, get paid a mark in that first quarter straight in front of goal. Let's see if this doesn't even things up a bit.
Pretty much directly in front, Daniel Shell, only the right side of centre, kicking from just inside 50 or right on 50. Let's go with the right boot now, fading to the right a little bit. Has he snuck it in? I don't think so. Minor score to Central District. They're now 4-5-29, trailing Port Adelaide 5-2-32.
Bit of an arm wrestle at the moment, boys.
Yeah, so Funk will bring this ball back in against the zone of Central. He'll go long and he'll go towards the outer side, where I thought his target might have been Hunter. It wasn't, though. It was a nice mark by Wakeland, who marks beautifully. He's done some solid things. He's just starting to get himself into the game. Eilert dodges around beautifully. In fact, it was Port Adelaide's Alston who turns around on that left foot, goes towards the outer side. Feagert taps it to the advantage of Polton. Does so nicely. Left hand handball by Polton was risky. It didn't quite pay off. Under pressure. Burns, he'll eat this up. Inside 50, goes short. No, mind McDowell. Unselfish play. Under pressure, he could have ran in and kicked from 40. Now McDowell, straight in front, will kick from 35.
Good play by Port. They've had their options. Burns could have run into perhaps an open goal, kicked from 40 out. Very good awareness, looks up, bang, hits a target.
Yeah, I reckon the side that... I'll tell you, straight after McDowell's kick for goal here, he kicks for goal and he drills it. Nice work. Port Adelaide 6-2-38, Central 4-5-29, so the margin just trips out to 9 points. I reckon the team that does better on the rebound today is the side that wins this game, because Central District are renowned for burning you on rebounds because they work back so hard. But Port Adelaide have just started to work, heighten their work level a bit, and it's starting to pay on the scoreboard.
Especially at the first game, there's going to be nerves, there's going to be players making a lot of mistakes, so take advantage of those mistakes.
Impressed with the way Matty Knights has got these new Port Adelaide players gelling together, even the ones coming back from AFL clubs like Ronnie Burns. They're good team play. Ball out of the middle, chance for Central District. Thomas, left foot kick towards centre half forward, leading in the race of the footy there. Quinton Graham couldn't quite. Feagert's there. Graham wraps him up as he got him over the shoulder. The umpire says yes, pushing the back. Free kick going the way of Feagert. Those two have had a tough battle. a fair bit of wrestling going on in the first quarter, and Quinton Graham just trying to make Fegert earn that one there. He has it in the back pocket inside defensive 50, comes along the boundary line, pokes the pass up high in the air, not quite Mark taken there, playing for a free kick. Davis, and he's got it up against Simon Arnott. So Chad Davis, the recruit from North Adelaide, has got the footy half-back flank.
He's a big loss for the Roosters, isn't he? Because he's been very good for Port Adelaide today.
Started very well.
12 touches, Poppy.
So that's in the opening minutes of this second quarter. Touched the ball a dozen times. Kicking to the southern end comes grandstand side, around about half-forward flank. Contest on. Thomas first there, taken over the line fairly and nicely by Christian Di Pasquale. There'll be a boundary throw in front of our 5DM commentary position, which is on the grandstand wing of the Alberton Oval.
Di Pasquale will learn very, very soon that when you run a player over the boundary like that and you're playing for Port Adelaide, you slam him into the fence. You don't let him go. Goodness me. Has to be a recruit, that bloke.
But then at Alberton here.
Yes, here we go. Schooler tackled with the ball, nicely held in there by Nick Butler, one of Port Adelaide's many new recruits, 21-year-old, standing 198 centimetres. He's beaten to it, though, by Schooler on that occasion. Doing some nice work is Elston down the bottom of the pack. He's held in there by both Ronnie Burns and two Central District opponents.
Christian Di Pasquale, has he been recruited by the right club, or should it be Adelaide United?
Yeah, could have been. Could have been. Ball thrown up. Arnott, third man up. Knocks the ball to the advantage of the Doggies. Gowans, ground level, taps it forward. Kick off the ground by Chris Gowans. Gets to Slade now, who'll run just on the arc of 50. Can he find a teammate in Shell? He can't. Holding on, free kick goes to Port Adelaide, and it's Wakelin again, who has been very good.
Oh, I thought it was going to go the other way there. I thought Shell was being infringed against, but Wakelin's got the free kick, and he switches to the outer side. He has a loose player with some run on. They work it nicely up towards centre wing. Mark taken. Trying to pick who that is.
Ronnie Burns.
Ronnie Burns. He's got the white boots on too, Ronnie Burns. A bit flashy this afternoon. He's looking good though, Ronnie Burns. Pokes the pass over the top. He has a player on. They're linking nicely. They're not burning the footy. When they've got it, Port Adelaide, they're cleverly holding onto it, waiting for something to present itself. They come in board. Archie's at centre half back. Takes a mark, looks about playing on. The umpire says no. A 25-metre penalty, in fact. Bit of confusion there. Luke Cowan thought he played on, so he's wrapped him up. The umpire said no.
I think he did, but the umpire didn't call play on.
I don't disagree, and of course that's the rule these days. You've got to wait for the umpire to say play on, even if the umpire's thinking it. If he hasn't actually said it.
Well, even these days.
Even these days, yes. You can't just anticipate. Away to Fabian Francis now, inside forward 50. McDowell's at the front, coming across, big fist away there from the Bulldogs at front and square. Di Pasquale takes it nicely, pokes the pass. McDowell broken for him. And Di Pasquale with his nice left footers found McDowell 45 metres out, just to the right side of centre.
A couple of fines for Port Adelaide, Di Pasquale and Elstone. They're both left footers. They use the ball beautifully and look very good at this stage.
I was just impressed too with Wakelin contesting that mark inside the forward 50. He was the player that actually got the free kick back in the full back zone just a few minutes ago, as McDowell does it again, your little cracker. Port Adelaide 7-2, 44, Central District 4-5, 29. This is 5DN football.
Where Port Adelaide have kicked another goal through McDowell. He's kicked 3 in this term, running hot. Port Adelaide 8-2, 50, lead Central District 4-5, 29, and they've stopped a bit, the Bulldogs.
Yep, Elstone's come off for Port out of breather, done very well in the midfield with Matthew Ashley having his first run for the day.
Poor bounce at the centre, allows Arnott a free kick, left foot kick. Round centre half forward, and now they go for the Doggies. They need one here. Wakelin, nice work, just hovers over the ball, keeps it inside the area, doesn't allow any room for Central to work with. Fegert taken high, play onto the call from a standing start, 45-metre kick around the body. Contest on. Cochrane wins that contest for the doggies. Kicks back in forward. Nicely shepherded there by Gowans. Open the door for Slade, who goes inboard to Arnott, who usually eats anything up inside 50. Nice play, Central District.
Yeah, good play. Set on the ball. A lot easier kicking the ball from straight out in front, boys.
So Port Adelaide 8-2-50. They are 21-point leaders at the 10-minute mark of this second quarter. Central District 4-5-29. Simon Arnott, who has yet to kick. In fact, he's had one kick today just a few moments ago.
This will be his second kick of 5 handballs as well for Arnott.
Well, that one wasn't one of his better ones. I would have backed him in for anything, but he was just offline. So when they need goals, they're kicking points. Well, Central 4-6-30. Sorry, Jack. Port Adelaide 8-2-50.
More wasted opportunities there by the Bulldogs. The ball comes in, goes towards the Alan Scott Power headquarters, fisted away from the marking contest, and we will have a throw-in 55 metres around from the Central District goal. Just wasted opportunities there, Jack. They really need to get them on the board.
Well, they did that in the first half of the first quarter also, didn't they?
Ball thrown in. Luke Cowan doing the ruck work. Marco Bello grabs the crumbs, tries to fire at a hand pass. Can't find a teammate. Players go in hard. Trying to scoop something out there. Richard Cochrane. They've got some runners here, the Bulldogs. What can they set up? Great pressure from the Magpies, though. No easy kicks out there this afternoon. Chance for Marco Bello. He's under the hammer. Can't take control of the footy. The umpire's found a free kick. No, play on, he says. Players piling on top of the footy. Eventually it comes out. Now here's a chance for the Bulldogs. Quick left foot snap by the Gowans. And Jimmy Gowans has put one on the board. Well, it was hard work, but they got there, the Bulldogs. That is their 5th goal of the afternoon. They're now 5-6-36. Trailing Port Adelaide 8-2-50. This is 5DN footy.
The doggies win the important centre break, go towards right, half forward flank. Francis pushing the back. Took the mark, but gave away the free kick, so says the umpire.
Whilst we had them on break there too, Poppy. Simon Arnou's come off, and Matthew Krieg's come on for his first run for the day.
The doggies go forward. Hopwood from 50, kicks to the top of the square. Taken out of it, I thought, by Wakeland was Shell. Bottom of the pack, Fegert will run the ball towards the boundary and does, and finds it. So there'll be a boundary, a throw-in grandstand side with the doggies kicking to the northern end. The boundary throw-in to take place around about 10 metres around from the doggy goals.
And boy, they need a goal too, Poppy.
Don't they? Cowan v Archie in the ruck this contest. Who's going to be a third man up? Will there be one? No, there won't. Knock to the square. Who's first player there? It's going to be Jared Bolton, who's been pretty busy today too, I've got to say. Been pretty good. Good tackle, Bello. Still Port Adelaide with the run of the ball, but only momentarily, because now the doggies have cleaned it up nicely and found Ware. Young Ware for Central, who today is playing just his 3rd SANFL game. He's kicked 1 goal before today.
Starting to blaze, Agora getting 3 kicks in the first 3 minutes. This is his first touch, though, since that period.
So Ware kicks from 48 metres off the boot. Distance won't be a problem. Accuracy is pretty good too. Well done, young Ware. Port Adelaide 8-2-50. Central 6-6-42 on 5DN football.
Apply.
The Bulldogs soaking up some pressure here at Alberton. Port Adelaide throwing everything at them. The Bulldogs go inside forward 50 again. Archie perhaps taken high. The Magpies fans think so. Play on, says the umpire, and Fegert comes away with it towards centre wing. Finds a teammate in Polton. Close cut, buzz cut, haircut. Goes over the top with his kick looking for Butler. He goes inboard, has a player loose. It's Eilert getting there. Hopwood couldn't quite. Cameron Eilert takes a good strong mark. Still 2 kicks from goal for the Magpies. Kicking to the southern end. 42 plays 50. Port Adelaide in front. We've played 15 minutes of this second term inside the forward 50, dropping back. Mark not taken, free kick though. The umpire says Ronnie Burns was in the back of the Frenchman, Yves Sibanella, and he lays it off to Hardy, and away the Bulldogs go. They go across towards Hay. He's under some pressure, spins his way out of trouble nicely, doesn't want to run too far. From the arc of defensive 50, puts it in the middle of the ground. Cochrane up against Funk, also coming through Archie. No one can get a handle on it. Fegert tries to poke it off the ground, numbers with the Magpies, and here they come through the middle. Working it nicely now, Port Adelaide.
Yeah, they find Port Adelaide's Cameron Eilert there, who's got a runner, and it's Jared Bolton, right side, grandstand side, tries to dance around Steinburner, does it beautifully, settles nicely, finishes tremendously, marked magnificently by Jay Cockatoo Collins, just a metre out. Port Adelaide with a margin of 8 points, could be extended in just a few moments.
Bolton 14 touches, guys.
They've got a zone Cocky in here. He's hard up against the boundary line, but he's going to play on for sure and certain. Hay finally comes in to zone him off to stop him running around.
Gone to the checky, I reckon.
Well, with the Cocky, you're not sure what to expect, and that's Central District's biggest problem at the moment. He plays on, opens the angle, checks sides it. I'm not sure whether he's happy with that or not. Pretty nonchalant. Yeah, another goal to the Cocky. 9-2. 56 the Magpies. Central District 6-6-42 on 5DN football. Where Jared Bolton's taken a strong mark to grandstand wing in front of our 5DN commentary position. We're here for the match of the day thanks to Angus Securities. He's got Clayton on the break. Hereda applies some really good pressure though, and it spills out. Grandstand side, half forward flank. The Magpies leading by 14 points.
Jared Bolton's lifted, boys. He's really getting his work rate up. He works hard always. He's hard at the footy. But Central's got to have to look at him. 15 touches, 6 marks for Polden, playing an absolute blinder. He's not alone for the Maggies. And most uncontested.
Exactly.
The aeroplane food was good for him. Of course, he flew over to Perth with the power side, but didn't play and came back to play in this game this afternoon. Ball thrown in front of the bowling club. We are working hard. Eilert trying to get his handle on the footy. Couldn't quite. Hay grabbed onto him. Could have got a free kick. The umpire says no, and the ball spills out of bounds in front of the bowling club once more. The boundary umpire will heave it back in. Butler working hard. He's up against a couple this afternoon. Kane Ackland went off with a heavy knock in the first quarter. Haven't seen him again. So Butler now working against McKenzie, the backup ruckman for the Bulldogs. Tap down front and square. Hopwood tries to go through. Does. Taken high. Plays on though. Runs towards centre wing. Right foot kicked on. A good one. Sets a real task for Cochrane. Getting out there. Funk didn't take a mark. He should have. Cochrane slung off the footy though. Funk's second effort was good. Fabian Francis comes up with it. Dances his way out of trouble. Kick around the corner. Rains couldn't quite. Bello met him hard. The rain soaked that up. Of course, young Nick Rains, son of Jeff, been on the Brisbane rookie list for the past couple of years, and he's done some exciting things so far in this contest.
He's had a couple of magic moments from Glenburn Fabrics magic moments.
You just wonder whether the pace on this game at the moment can last, given it's their first up effort for the year. It'd be interesting to see. A margin could prove fairly beneficial. At the moment, Port Adelaide have that margin of 14 points as Cocky kicks it off the ground from centre wing to around about centre half forward. Ware picks it up nicely. Kick smothered beautifully by Port Adelaide. They've lifted the work rate, if anything. Coming through beautifully is Nick Rain, son of Jeff. But his kick didn't find a target. Rebounds out of defensive 50 by the Doggies. And now Bello, with a little bit of room to move, usually doesn't waste the ball. Finds Steinburner. If you want pace, you see Steinburner. If you want good cars, you see Steinborner. Pace, Steinburner, inside 50. Goal!
Nice goal.
There's a magic moment. Glenburn Fabrics. Thank you very much. The Doggies 7-6-48. Port Adelaide 9-2-56. This is 5DN football.
of time on here in the second term at Alberton Oval. Big fly there from Butler. The ruckman in the middle could have infringed. The umpire's called play on. It's tough in the centre. Players stacking on top of the footy, and the umpire comes in to do his job all over again. 56 plays 48, Port Adelaide in front, but it's been a tough, uncompromising affair so far this afternoon. Two sides with plenty of talent, playing plenty of good footy. Free kick, Jack's picked it out. It's going the way of Mackenzie, the Bulldogs ruckman. Butler over his shoulder, the umpire said. Mackenzie has a runner, thinks about giving a hand pass off, but he was zoned off well. Good work in defence there by Clayton for Port Adelaide. Coming through, Luke Cowan put a big hit on Funk, who took the mark. Some wrestling going on in back play too. Steve Jaguar, keep your eye on that one. Ball out towards centre wing. Steinborner gets in front of Steinburner, gets in front of Chad Davis. Across to Swatala. How good are the skills under pressure? Finds Cochrane. He has Slade. Slade's under the pump. Gets around Fabian Francis. Snap on goal. Looks pretty good. Just offline. Minor score. Port Adelaide giving them nothing. The pressure is immense from their forwards and their backmen all over the ground. An interchange about to take place. Christian Di Pasquale coming off, and James Wilson coming on for the Magpies.
He'd be disappointed with that, Slade, because usually he'd eat those up inside 50. A little bit of room to spare. Had to kick around the body, but just didn't find the target.
The pressure's still there, though, Poppy.
It is.
By far the biggest possession winner for the Dogs, Slade, with 13.
Ball towards the outer side of the ground. Port Adelaide kicking to the southern end in this second quarter. Time on at the moment, and the Magpies lead by 7 points.
Coming off, boys, there's another interchange. My main man today's been this Elstone. He's played very, very well. He came off. Central started to get a bit of a run on.
And Davies has come off, who himself has been a solid contributor today. As the Doggies go inside forward 50. Graham gets around Fegert, gets to the front of the pack but can't take the ball. Daniel Shell taken beautifully. Nice tackle. Magpie pressure enormous. Good work. Francis fights hard. Threads one through to Slade from a standing start and inside a pack. Out of play on the full. Free kick will go the way of Funk. Deep in the left back pocket.
Boys, Gowan boys have just swapped over one. Chris has come off for James to go on. Both coaches obviously wary of the hot conditions today, boys. First gamer.
It is pretty warm. Ball settling out of side with the captain, Tony Brown, for the Magpies. Kicks around the corner, can't quite find a target. Loose footy on the deck, socket forward by the Bulldogs, only as far as Butler, the big ruckman. Hand pass isn't good, sets a task for a teammate. Players dive in on top of the footy. Still settling out of side, no one can get it out, and there will be a bounce down.
I'm just trying to recall, I don't reckon the Magpies have been in their forward 50 for around about 5 minutes. The Doggies have done all the attacking. You know, early in this quarter we had McDowell, who scored 3 goals, and things were flowing beautifully, but all of a sudden the work rate's lifted by the Doggies, especially in the midfield. And the opportunities just aren't there for the Magpies. At the moment, the ball's out of play on the outer side of the ground.
Certainly been an arm wrestle. We looked at the first quarter. The first half was Central's, then Port came back. This quarter, it's Port got away to another starter. This time, Central's fought back.
Well, Central Districts have had 14 scoring shots. Port Adelaide just 11, but it's the Magpies who lead by 7 points.
Sums up the afternoon. Here come the Magpies now, though, Poppy. Ball with Shea Cockatoo. Collins tries to draw one, does, gets it across to Polton, steaming through, hits the 50-metre arc, takes another step and pops it to the top of the square. But off the hardy, Jeremy Type is back there to take the mark. He's got Matty Krieg on. He gets it on quickly in front of the bowling club there. Krieg takes the mark. He has another player loose. It's Gowans. This is James with a skinhead haircut. Ricky O'Loughlin trying to hold him up there and just chew up a bit of time. Gowans having some verbals with the umpire. Players playing it pretty tight, but O'Loughlin got his job done because he's held Gowans up. He's on defensive arc of 50. Needs someone to lead for him. They do now. He's got it inside at Swatala. Takes the footy and plays on quickly. Kicks towards centre half forward. Wakeland out in front. Shell behind. Shell nudges Wakeland under the footy. Clever stuff. Chance for Quinton Graham if the ball sits. It doesn't. Fegert now gets in the contest. Has a hack shot out of the air trying to soccer it away. Taking the footy and falling to ground. Centrals could be in trouble here. I thought they dragged it in. The umpire says no. Fabian Francis has some words and will have a bounce. 40 up from Central's goal. A
little disappointing. Corey Archie does the right thing, holds him up, and then they still get a loose man, Central's. Bad play by Port.
Here we go. Third man up. Daniel Shell taps it forward. Can he find Graham on this occasion? Kick off the ground was from Port Adelaide, so it's through for a behind. Port Adelaide, Port Adelaide 9-2, 56, and Central 7-8. That's a total of 50. The margin just one straight kick. We're well into time on now. And Port Adelaide would hate to give up this lead in the dying seconds of the second quarter before they go in for the main break. Wilson is on the end of a kick, takes the mark, right half-back flank. He's got a runner, plays on quickly, draws a player, goes to the top. Risky play it is, but Brown, who's usually pretty good, is good under pressure on this occasion too. Finds Francis. Well, they're just overdoing it a bit here, the Port Adelaide side. Francis gives to Wilson, gets it back, does Francis, and then kicks towards McDowell. Can he make ground? He can. Can he take the ball? He can indeed. Play on for the goal. McDowell actually took the mark. The umpire didn't pick it up. And what should have been a mark will now be a bounce down right on the arc of 50.
The ball hit the ground, guys.
No, he marked it.
No, good decision, umpire.
Your mate at Flare Curtains and Blinds won't be too happy with that. That should have been one of the contenders.
Stop picking on umpires. Hey, umpires don't make mistakes.
Free kick going the Bulldogs' way. Port Adelaide tried to play on there and a 25-metre penalty. So they're a touch rattled here, the Magpies. Deep into time on, or so rather early in time on, I should say, in this second term. We've played about 22, 23 minutes of this term. On the scoreboard, Port Adelaide 9-2-56, Central District 7-8-50.
I don't think many people know what's happening at the minute.
Matthew Ashley mark in front of the dugout. Rather, he took it on the second attempt, and the boundary umpire saying the first attempt was inside the field of play, the second was outside, so we will have a boundary throw-in just around from the 5 end commentary box, about 70 metres out from the Bulldog goal.
Nathan McDowell's come off too, guys.
I wonder if it's a result of that 25-metre penalty.
Possibly.
Here we go. Elston tries to bust the pack, can't. Brown's clever little handball. Can he find Ashley over the top? He can't. Slade comes in, gets at the bottom of the pack. He's held in, tries to break the tackle rather than give, and gets held up. Courtesy of a double tackle from both Ashley and also Di Pasquale.
Di Pasquale, George Fiarchi lookalike.
He is indeed.
Bring it for him, George.
Another 3 or 4 stone, and it'll be a spitting image.
What about Matthew Ashley? I reckon he's your George Fiarchi lookalike.
Yeah, put them both together, and
Snap.
you've got that. Burns rows it nicely, runs into Gowans. It'll be a boundary throw-in.
George Fiarchi was never as thin as Di Pasquale.
He actually hires those guys out to do his work during the week, George. Seeing it drives the end.
So Ronnie Burns and Gowans have a few words with each other. Ball will be thrown in. It'll be Butler up against Mackenzie. Burns tries to kick it off the ground. Runs into Krieg. Comes on top. Ronnie's upset. And gets taken off the pack by Tyson Hay. Hopwood has a bit of a word to Burns as well.
This is a great contest this afternoon.
It is. Nice work, Mackenzie. Pushing back. Whose way will it go? It's going to go Port Adelaide's way. Even though they had the break, the umpire pulled the brakes on. And Pop will get the free kick.
There could have been play on there, boys.
Goes in short looking for the skipper. Couldn't take the mark. Hopwood, though, infringed. Hand over the shoulder. Tony Brown will take the free kick, as Jack said. In front of the bowling green club. The bowling club, I should say. Still 2 kicks from goal, Big John.
15 free kicks to Port, 7 to Central.
Rob Popplestone, Corey Wingard, Steve Jackwea and John Nankerville bringing you our 5DN match of the day as Brown goes to the top of the square. Discipline kick, needed contest here, getting across Steinburnett. Got his hands on it, Steinburnett, I'll get it right in a minute. Got his hands on it, couldn't take the mark. Ball spills free, players pile in on top of it. 40 metres out directly in front of Port Adelaide's goal.
When you go down to Steinburnett like we've done, it's pretty hard to get the name out of your head, isn't it?
It is, it is.
So the ball will be thrown up, 40 metres out from goal. Third man up, Ricky O'Loughlin. Nearly stole that one. On the end of it will be Cocky. Couldn't just rip it in when he needed to. It would have been a free kick on goal. And in fact, it will be now, courtesy of a free kick. And it will go the Cocky's way.
I think so. He's just getting up holding his head. Bit confusing at the moment. I think the umpires just need to get a bit of control. It's just players are getting a bit willing, and it is a tight, tough contest.
Coming up for his 5th kick, he's also had 9 handballs. Cockatoo Collins, 14 for the game.
So thanks. What are the umpires again?
Free kicks.
Free kicks. It's now 16-7 in favour of Port Adelaide.
16-7.
That's 8 this quarter and 4 for Central.
I would have thought that most of them. I would have thought most of them have been there. Cocky should eat this up. Does he? No, he's missed it. Ooh. Disappointing miss there for the Magpies, courtesy of Cocky's kick on goal from 25 metres out, basically directly in front. 5DN football today, round 1, match of the day, thanks to Angus Securities. And we all know that Angus Securities pay fixed interest on your investments.
Late in the second term, Port Adelaide lead by 7 points. The Central District try and mount something now. They go down the outer side. Burner, I'll get it right, goes inside 50. Big Schooler back there trying to do something, couldn't quite fig it, cuts across in front of him and knocks it over the boundary line for a throw-in, about 10 metres around from the Bulldog goal.
And we look at Jared Poultney in front of us. He has not had a player within cooey of him all day.
Well, he might get one now because there's a few changes being made by Roy Laird. Coming off is Krieg and Bellow. Coming on, Arnott and Chris Gowans, just as the siren goes. So Gowans and Arnott would be exceptionally pleased about that. Running onto the ground and making it to the centre square as the siren goes. Half-time here at Alberton Oval. Port Adelaide 9-3-57. Central District 7-8-50. We'll have a short break. Be back with goal scorers. Better play. Steve Jackwea's thoughts on the first half of football. John Nankerville's stats. All on 5DN Football.
Ackland not out there. He's up against Paul Schooler for the Central District side. Butler gets high, Schooler gets the tap down, coming through Slade, gathered it nicely, gave it back towards Arnott, just sitting and lurking as he does, goes with a left foot torpedo inside forward 50. Luke Cowan, we just mentioned him, couldn't quite hang on. At the back, Richard Cochran tries to harass Funk and cause the turnover, couldn't quite. The ball's bottled up with 30 metres out directly in front from Central's goal.
Disappointing, Corey. Luke Cowans, he takes a screamer, takes probably the best mark of the day, and then he just drops that mark.
Couldn't quite get his hands on it. Ball from that ruck contest comes out the back door towards Slade, stands and delivers a goal for Central District. Good start in the third term. Central's now 8-8-56, trail Port by 1 point. The Magpies 9-3-57. You're listening to 5DN Footy. Back in the middle here, Schooler gets the fist out of the centre again, only as far as Christian De Pasquale. He can't get a clean possession. Pressure's immense again, comes out the way to Stein. Burner, he kicks it inside forward 50. Luke Cowan, can he go this time? Not quite. Great defensive mark there by Dudley Archie. Not a spectacular one, but still probably a contender for our flare curtains and blinds mark of the day. He goes wide, finds Cockatoo Collins up towards centre wing. Outmarked there, Butler. Got worked under the footy cleverly by Big Paul Scholar. He can send Centrals back into attack. Spears a pass out. The lead is on. Luke Cowan, hands up. Couldn't quite. Richard Cochran waiting down at ground level. So too Elstone. Shares it with Fabian Francis across to the skipper in Brown, and they're out of trouble, the Magpies, as they get it towards centre wing.
Yeah, Polton's the man they were looking for. I can tell you, boys, that I got as close as 20 deep at the canteen, looking for a pass in a drink. It just didn't happen. Anyway, the doggies go forward. Might have another go midway through this quarter, hey? As they do through Steinbrenner. He's got a couple of options in the goal square. Look at this. They can raffle this, and they're actually gonna stuff it up, to put it in layman's terms. The two brothers have never been so close and yet so far apart at the same time. Both of them didn't know what the other was going to do.
Paint the picture, Poppy. Both in the goal square. It's rolled through both their hands almost and across for a rush behind.
And a 50-metre penalty because Gowans wasn't back far enough. So you'll see, well, here comes the runner now. I was just about to say you'll see the runner come out.
The reason he wasn't back far enough because Fabian was telling him and telling him and telling him.
Jack mentioned in the break, Poppy, that the two Gowans boys have looked a little bit lethargic out there, so we'll see if they've got enough run in their legs to get them through the second half.
Let's see. De Pasquale is the player with the ball. He's just short of right half forward with scores locked away. Port Adelaide 9-3 and Central 8-9. Goes short. I reckon that could be Elston, is it? Over the other side.
On the other side, you might be right.
We'll find out in just a moment. Goes short. Looks like him, the way he kicked that ball short to Fegan, who's worked just outside 50.
Knights has got them playing this possession brand of football. They will chip it around, waiting for a good option.
Let's see if they can find one here. No, I've got to say that Butler's been beaten in the ruck today by both Schooler and also McKenzie. Ball comes out of defensive 50. Cocky punches it to the front of the pack. Slade taken late and low, I thought. Play on was the call. And the player that I just said was getting a bath marks inside 50. Has he got an option? He has. It's Wilson just inside 50. Put one hand up. Not normally good enough. Wasn't on this occasion. Burns right on arc of 50. Drags it across the front of goal. In fact, doesn't make the distance. And Arnott takes a mark on the very last line of defence.
Tries to go short, looking for Hopwood. Fee gets there with him as well. Manages to affect the spoil. Ball spills out the back of the pack and over the boundary line. About where the 50-metre arc dissects the boundary in front of the Alan Scott Power headquarters. I reckon you're being a bit harsh on Butler there, Poppy. He has tried valiantly all afternoon. He hasn't had the support of Kane Ackland, so he's doing the job of two men. I think he's battling away all right. He's not dominating, but he isn't letting the other boys dominate either.
Corey,
See how we go in the second half.
Corey, I'm with you, Poppy. Wrong.
You're a harsh man, Poppy, no doubt about it. Ball about 60 out from goal. High tackle on Cockatoo Collins by Slade, so Port Adelaide will have another chance to set up a foray forward again. Cocky, he's 2 kicks from goal. He elects to go short. They again maintain possession. He comes across the ground. Gives it to Fabian Francis from 55. Jack's called it home. It's a pretty good kick as it got the travel. Hands on it by Schooler dropping back. And he's done well to force it through for a minor score. Port Adelaide lead by that much now. They're 9-4. 58. On the 5 again scoreboard here, Central District 8-9, 57. The Dogs to bring it back in.
Thought it was a goal from here.
Well, they'll bring it back in and have another go. They lead by a point, the Magpies. Play on from fullback. The Doggies go, trying to break up their zone and draw a player. No player's being drawn, so he's ran 45, gone short, finally found a hole. Hopwood is the player he found. Arnott on the break, grandstand side. He's also got Ware, his teammate, and Ware, off he goes. Bounces, runs 15, kicks to space. Race is on, nicely done. The Magpies, defensive 50. Nice take, can they find a teammate? They cannot. He went searching for Nick Raines, couldn't find him. Ware cut it off and plays on quickly and finds Slade inside 50. So poor disposal coming out of defence may cost the Magpies.
Kane Ackland boys back on the ground, which is a good sign for Port.
Yep, O'Loughlin coming off and Ackland going up into the forward 50. Paul Belton is out there, just a couple of cokes up to the 5-game commentary box. Paul will be fantastic, mate, just to help get us through that. I reckon we're up to 6,000 to 7,000 now. The crowd is outstanding.
This will be Slade's 11th kick. He's had 17 touches all.
Not his best one this afternoon, John. Pardon me. He sprayed it to the right. Minor score. Scores locked away once more. Central District, we mentioned it in the first half. They've wasted opportunities. 8-10, 58. Port Adelaide 9-4, 58. On the 5DN scoreboard, quick interchange. O'Loughlin, who was only off momentarily, has been given another go back on the ground.
Yeah, Rainsy came off. He got a knock here just in front of us. Probably a corky, I would imagine, to the thigh.
All right, so a bit of work being done by the coaches, both Matty Knights and Roy Laird. In a close game like this, it may be a coaching move that actually turns the game in their team's favour. Archie, defensive 50, outer side of the ground, goes long, big fly, can't be taken though. I thought Wakeland was the player, third man up it was, couldn't take the ball. There'll be a bounce down left half forward flank. Central District kicking to the southern end, and the scores are locked away. We've played 7 minutes of this third quarter. At half time, Port Adelaide were 9-3, they've added 1 point. Central District was 7-8, they've added 1 goal too.
Ball thrown up outer side. Butler gets the tap down. Arnott lurking around the back of the pack, couldn't quite, manages to release a hand pass in the end across to Hereda after all that. He tries to get a hand pass to Slade. He was set up a bit. Fabian Francis was sweating on him. Francis just took him a little bit high. Not hard to do with Eagle Roy Slade. He's 2 foot nothing. He has the ball in the middle of Alberton Oval. Ricky O'Loughlin on the mark with those bright white boots. Looks like he should be playing tennis. Not sure about the fashion these days. Poppy, I reckon you would have played in white boots. Slade, long to centre half forward. Need a big mark here. Central's Cowan sticks his hands up. Couldn't quite. Ball at ground level. All Magpies though. Davis just steps his way through cleverly. Gathers the ball. Switches play towards the scoreboard and finds the skipper in Tony Brown. Concedes some ground but maintains possession. You think part of Matthew Knight's mantra this year. Hold on to it and wait for the right option to present itself. Brown's doing just that. He's had it for a little while. The umpire might call him to go on shortly. Swatala's on the mark, just waiting for the umpire to do that. Brown, in the end, decides to go long with his left foot along the boundary line. Need a big mark here. Big fly at the back from Elijah Ware, of all people. Couldn't quite do it. Lurking there was Hereda. Players dive in on top of the footy. Can we get it out? I don't think we can. The umpire comes in for a bounce outer side of the Alberton Oval.
Well, no one's willing to give at the moment, are they, in the first 7 minutes of this third quarter? We haven't seen the flow that we've seen in the first half. It really could be the side that gets opportunities now, will be the side that wins it, but just getting the opportunities, the hard thing, as Port Adelaide run it out of defence from the half-back line. There's just no room to move.
We've talked about it before about...
Oh, it's on. A bit of a scuffle in there. The Gowns kiddies have come in. They weren't happy with something. Players in very tight. Ricky O'Loughlin's lurking around there also.
I mean, you really wouldn't expect anything else from a game like this. I mean, the temperature's hot, both on and off the field at the minute.
Slade goes short, not a good kick, diving effort, not taken by Brown. He manages to get to his feet, across to Fabian Francis, then Cockatoo Collins, wobbly mongrel punt, not sure if that was very friendly. The umpire found a free kick down the ground, hanging on, going Ackland's way. Still a bit going on behind play. Feegit talking to James Gowns, the umpire coming in as well. Flash is having his say too. The Gowns kiddies a bit rattled, and that's never good for Centrals when they get like that. Ball's with Ackland all the same. And he's just the right side of centre, going to kick from 55. Take a magic kick.
He can kick.
He's let that go. Popper, you've called it a beauty. It's got to have the carry. Has it got the accuracy? I think not. Minor score. Port Adelaide back in front again by the one behind now. Port Adelaide 9-5. Central District 8-10.
Next couple of goals very important, boys.
We've played 10 minutes of this third term.
You can't imagine this game being decided by more than a couple of goals, really, can you? So, I mean, every play here important, every turnover crucial. Central District, every possession so important. Swatala to Ware, two young guys, good pressure by Figures, and enough just to change possession. It is nice work by Figure, ran him down, put on just enough pressure. One of those 1%ers that won't show up in the stats, but could make your side win the game. Wilson finds Brown, the skipper. Marks, grandstand wing. Got a couple of options inboard. One of them is Elstone, who marks nicely. His possessions today, John Nankerville.
This will be his 16th, probably.
He's been very, very good.
Plays in the pivot, crossed through the middle, through that corridor. That's his game through there.
Yeah, links beautifully, gets in and gets under and does a whole lot of good stuff around the ground. Inside 50, Ackland taken out of the contest. Now to Funk, to Brown. Need to find something, to Polton. Turns and runs into trouble. Good pressure. There's not much room to move. We've got about 30 players inside forward 50. The break's on. Swatala breaks away, runs, bounces. He can take a couple of bounces. He gets a Shepherd. He does. Two bounces, then starts to look inboard to the corridor. It's going to be 2-on-1, but guess what? The one Central District player's got a heap of pace. But he ain't got the smarts of Fabian Francis, who opens the door for Wilson. Wilson turns it over to Slade, and the doggies will surge forward again.
Slade has someone on inside 50. It's Stein. Burner again. He marks on the arc at 50. Pulls away. Tight angle. He looks to square it up. He's got players inboard. Richard Cochran. It was a top kick too. Found Cochran. He did really well there, Nathan Steinburner. He was on the tight angle in front of the bowling club. He thought, shall I have a ping? He looked inside, and Cochran had made the space for him. The turnovers here important. Poppy did say in the first term, turnovers and rebound footy, the side that rebounds better will win the afternoon, and so far that is ringing true. Good rebounding footy by the Bulldogs.
Very good discipline too. Steinborner could have gone into these goals, Poppy, and he does kick them well too on the run. But
and the good thing was he had a little bit of room, but his first instinct was to look for someone in better position rather than with a rush of blood and the game in the balance, and with a bit of room to move, maybe try to do the, well, what me and you would have done in our day. Go straight for goal.
Yeah. Discipline side, the Central District side. Ball with Richard Cochran. He's on about a 15-degree angle, so not much of an angle to speak of. Kicking from 35 out. He's pushed it towards the right post. I think he has missed it too. Scores locked away once more. Wasted opportunities by the Bulldogs. 8-11. Not good kicking. Central District 59. Port Adelaide 9-5, 59. Scores locked away. We've played about 13 minutes of this third term in 5 to ends match of the day.
Funk brings the ball back in, goes looking for Butler, who, as I said earlier, has been very good today. Butler plays on quickly to Francis. His left-handed handball finds the skipper Brown straight down the corridor, goes long. The lead's on by Burns, gets rid of his opponent. Can he get hold of the ball? He can. Now, he's usually pretty good in these tight situations, Burns, if he can just get a bit of room. Got the free kick dragged down just outside 50 in front of Alan Scott, Power Headquarters. The Crows listed player, trying desperately to get a recall. Probably only a week away now. Ronnie Burns inboard, threads one through, finds Davis, who was taken. But Davis, I tell you what, has been solid all day today, John Nankerville.
He certainly has been, Poppy. He's coming up to what will be his 11th kick, and you added 4 handballs onto that for 15 touches, and still a quarter and a half to go.
No, he's done very, very well, and he used the ball very well, Pop.
Yeah, a few times there he's been under pressure, but he showed, you know, a level head.
Intestinal fortitude.
Yeah, with a lot of traffic around him on that occasion. He was taken late and a bit high. Get close to the man on the mark, but from 50, he'll kick to the top of the square. Ackland flew high, couldn't take the mark. Arnott rose it nicely. His handball finds Thomas, who kicks to the advantage of, well, he's got a couple of options there, one of which is Bello, who feeds off. Gets the 1-2, Bello gets it back. He may get ran down here unless he gets rid of it. He does that. A left-footed kick, gains all of 55 metres. And eventually gets spoiled over the line. Around about 70 metres from Doggy's goals, outer side of the ground, with Central kicking to the southern end of Alberton Oval. Port Adelaide here at 9-5-59. They're locked away with Central, 8-11-59. We might check some scores around the grounds.
Thank you, Poppy. Around the grounds at Prospect, it's North 11-5-71 over Glenelg, 7-10-52. Well into the final term in the AFL, it's Kangaroos 14-12-96, leading Hawthorn 9-6-60. And it's Carlton at Optus Oval, 13-8-86. Over Geelong, 5-13-43. And back to Alberton Oval.
Jared Polton going through the middle of the ground, received it from Butler, doing a good work, the big man. He goes wide to Wilson on half-forward flank. Good pressure from Elijah where he bombs it long to the top of the square. All Central District back there, though. And Paul Thomas mops up. He's been busy this afternoon. Check his stats with Big John Nankerville shortly. Thomas comes towards the grandstand side. Not a great kick. Sets a task for Matthew Krieg. Polton's better at ground level. He tries to zip-zap a couple of ways. Can't quite do it. Back towards Wilson. Ware lays the tackle. Wilson drops it cold. The umpire said play on. Elston in there working hard as he likes to do. Tries to dance around Herrera, back towards Wilson. Pressure's immense towards the boundary line, kicked out of bounds on the full. Another one of those right on the line, and Wilson just got a toe poke to it, and a free kick going Central's way.
Some tired boys out there. Yeah, you're not wrong. I'll talk about Wilson. He just chose the wrong option a few moments ago. It had Elston as an option running into an open goal. Now Gowans might make him pay because he has got the big fella, Sibonella, to kick to. He finds him, kicks to the top of the square. Cocky at the front, but guess what? Daniel Shell at the back. It fell into his hands, and all of a sudden the doggies, for the first time in a long time, have hit the front. Central 9-11-65, Port Adelaide 9-5-59, 5DN football.
District in front, quick kick out of the middle by the Magpies. Polton going back with the flight of the footy. Oh, maybe a little step there. Don't like to say that about Jared Polton, but he half took his eye off the ball, and Central District rebound once more towards centre half forward. Big fist away from Cockatoo Collins. Slade is there. The look away hand pass didn't hit the target. Port Adelaide come away with it now. Centre wing Elstone been outstanding this afternoon. Inside forward 50, McDowell gets his hands on it, couldn't hold it. Burns against Thomas. Burns gets a bit of space. Hard up against the boundary line. That would have been a Glenburn Fabric magic moment. Had he snuck that one in, would have been an absolute beauty, but not to be. Minor score for Port Adelaide. They're now 9-6-60, trailing Central District 9-11-65.
One of the most common traits in the Central District side over the last few years is their ability to win these sort of games. It'll be interesting to see if the Magpies have found a chink in the armour over the last few years.
We mentioned they don't normally play under this sort of pressure too, so a big test for them. Roy Laird will be loving it.
The doggies play on again from full-back. That's been what they've done the last couple of occasions. Nicely read, though, in flight. Good work. Port Adelaide, Cameron Eilert took the mark. Plays on. Nice leg, top of square. Ackland with the sick. Can he get to the contest? He can't. Shepherd, free kick. Bit unlucky, but it was there. Ackland taken out by off to Hyde, and will get the free kick. Kane Ackland. He's one of those sort of players, before I go to John Nankerville, he's one of those sort of players that if Matty Knights can have a word to his ear and say, hey, listen, it hasn't been your day, but if you can get yourself up for 30 minutes, he's the sort of player who can kick 3 or 4 and turn the game.
It's an important part of footy, isn't it? If you are down, to still keep giving something.
Port Adelaide 23 kicks to Central 10.
Ooh.
So
you wouldn't think it's one-sided, though.
No, not at all.
Kane Ackland from 30 metres out. Close enough to directly in front, and he's pulled it again. So Port Adelaide 9-7-61, Central District 9-11-65.
We talk about taking opportunities, and both sides, you've just got to take the opportunity when you get it, because it's going to go down to the wire.
Well, Cowan off, Graham on, Central District.
Arnott on the outer side goes long up towards centre wing. Mackenzie's out there also with Butler. Butler did well from behind to create a contest, bring the ball to ground level. High tackle possibly. The umpire agrees with me. Port Adelaide free kick. The ball will come back to centre wing. Was high. The umpire perhaps just a bit slow in getting his whistle happening and getting it going. Chad Davis is the free kick recipient. As we head towards time on in this third term. Central District 65, Port Adelaide 61. A great contest all afternoon, both sides giving everything and playing some high-intensity footy. Leads on from O'Loughlin. He takes a sliding chest mark. Still a couple of kicks from goal. 2, maybe 3. O'Loughlin's got the footy, white boots and all. Waits for someone as they've done all afternoon. The lead's on from Brownie, hits the arc of 50, takes it nicely up against the boundary line, shares it across with the Cocky. What can he do? Thinks about giving it back, runs into trouble. He's got some pressure on him there. Port Adelaide, they might have messed this up. Comes out from D. Pasquale, couldn't quite. High tackle maybe. The umpires call play on. They're letting it go a bit now, the umpires. Players stack in on top of the footy. No one can get it out. And the umpire eventually comes in to whistle it up 40 metres out from Port Adelaide's goal.
Good umpiring under these circumstances. It's hot for everybody out there under pressure, and I think the umpires did very, very well. Let it go.
So inside Port Adelaide's forward 50. The contest is well and truly on. 4 points to the margin, favouring the Bulldogs. Quick kick for goal just offline for the Magpies. They edge closer though. 3 points down. 9-8-62 Central District. 9-11-65. We've played right on 20 minutes of this third quarter. Angus Securities bringing you 5DN's match of the day. Angus Securities, the fixed interest specialists. If you've got a little bit of money put away, put it with Angus Securities. They'll pay 7.5%.
Kick in from Central District, mark taken by Cameron Islet. 55 out from goal, clever mark, and the Port Adelaide people like that too. He puts it back from whence it came, top of the square. Ackland a couple deep, fisted down by Thomas. Waiting at the ground level, Elijah Ware did well. Paddled it in front of himself and gathered the footy. Gets the kick under some pressure. Only as far as Cameron Islet and Cockatoo Collins coming out there. Shell too, did well to trap the footy. Very well done. Lindburn Fabric magic moment to Steinberger. Kicks it towards the boundary line. He's happy to see it go out. The Frenchman Yves Sibonella tries to get a hand pass back inboard, looking for Bello. Couldn't quite. Good pressure from Fegat. Wakeland comes in to lend some support. In comes McKenzie. Hand pass over the top by Wakeland. Islet stands in the tackle. Did well. Good tackle from Shell. And the umpire will have a bounce just in front of the 5DN commentary box. Throws it up straight away to get the ball moving. McKenzie takes it out of the air. Did well there, Cocky. 3-on-1, and he milked the free kick out of that. Clever stuff. Port Adelaide with the ball.
Free kick was definitely there, fellas, and we talk about the free kick count. I think it's some undisciplined play by Centrals.
Yeah, well, they're not used to this pressure for this amount of time. We said that at half-time, and Port Adelaide have not let up. As we speak, Cocky comes off. Matthew Ashley comes on. Davis with the footy, almost run down, slips a tackle at the last minute, tries to slip another one. A bit too ambitious. Steinberger gets it across towards Chris Gowns. He's besieged by 3 or 4 Magpies. Umpire said he never had a chance to get rid of it. And the crowd's starting to get vocal now. Game on well and truly. Central District 9-11-65, Port Adelaide 9-8-62.
Arm wrestle can go either way, so the crowd could have some involvement here. They could lift them.
Well, they've taken Cocky off, and that could be a good ploy. They'll bring him on early in the last quarter, I'd reckon, and hope that he can find what he was showing early in the first quarter. Polton takes the ball out of that centre bounce, goes looking for Burns. Not usually known as a marker, and couldn't take that ball over. Spills over the boundary line, grandstand side with the Magpies kicking to the northern end. And they're trailing by 3 points. Ackland.
A small goes leading to the forward pocket, kick the ball long to the square.
Would have thought so. Ackland could have been a target. Takes the ball out of the ruck throw-in. Free kick against Ackland, though. They need to make a decision on Ackland because he's just not providing anywhere near what he should be.
Mind you, I say kick long to the goal square, but that's what Ackland's problem's been. He's just been sitting there, trying to take a big specky all day.
So Skullock with the ball. Goes short. Can he find Krieg? He can. Still in defensive 50. He's got Steinberger, who's been very good. Can he find a man? He can. Ware. His kick 30 metres long was Steinberger's to Ware. Wants it back. Goes inboard, does Ware, and they've got a little bit of room to move. Tyson Hay with a corridor in front of him, and only Clayton chooses to go short. The kick wasn't as good as it could be, so Sibonella now is under pressure from Fegat. Tyson Hay adds support, takes the ball, left foot kick, poor again. Wakeland gets that free kick.
Free down the field. Archie bumped him late. Soft, nothing vicious about it, but just dumb. Just dumb.
Well, that can cost you, because now what should have been a Port Adelaide free kick in defensive 50, getting themselves out of trouble, is a Central District kick on goal with a margin just 3 points.
He's crucified the wrong bloke, Jack. I think it was O'Loughlin.
You are right. Sorry about that.
Just looking after my namesake in Corey Archie.
Thanks, Corey.
Here we go. Kick on goal. Across the face. No, Shell's taken the mark. Play on's the call. Matthew Ashley gets it and balls towards the boundary line, hoping to find it, and does. So 30 metres from Central District's home now. There'll be a boundary throw-in with the Doggies leading by 3 points, and we're well into time on third quarter.
Looks like the change is coming, and Lachlan is coming off. Now, whether it's because of the discrepancy prior, we've got Rains coming back on.
Wrestling in the ruckwork. The umpire says play on. I thought Sibonella was brought down by Fegat. Fegat manages to come up with the footy somehow. He kicks it towards the boundary line. Lachlan, who was coming off, has gone back into the contest. Clever work by Arnott. Gets it, paddles it across to Krieg. Kicks around the corner from Krieg. Mark taken by Chris Gowns. Gets it towards Cochrane. Top of the square. Disciplined staff. Oh, they do it without looking. They're so disciplined, the Central District side. He didn't even look, Cochrane. He got the footy. He knew he had to go to the top of the square. And supporting him there was Yves Sibinella, the Frenchman, and he took a good mark almost directly in front.
1 minute we talk about discipline, the next minute we talk about being undisciplined.
Yep.
It's one of those games, it's just got to do everything right at the right time, and that was perfect.
I think you did right. I reckon might have took him off for the undisciplined act. He hasn't accepted anything like that today from the Magpies players. If they've been undisciplined, they've had a spell straight away. And this is why, because as you said, Jack, disciplined footy brings about goals, and Yves Sibinella should kick this. As I said, 20 metres out, directly in front. They're in front by 3 points. He can stretch it to 9, Sibinella, and he makes no mistake. Central District have goal number 10. They're 10-11, 71, leading Port Adelaide 9-8, 62. You're listening to Footy on 5DN.
Your barbecue's guest.
Where Central District lead the way, 10-11-71, Port Adelaide 9-8-62, and the ball will be bounced down on Central District's left half-forward flank. Well, the game was very good for the first 60 minutes. In this third quarter, it hasn't reached any great heights, but it's been intriguing insofar as it's a real battle, and there's been some sloppiness as tiredness starts to edge its way into the game. Scola taps it down, finds the wrong player, though. It was Brown who gave to Francis. His left foot kick to Burns. Burns has got a bit of room to move. He looks up, sees Ackland on the break, or he's got McDowell as another option. McDowell is the player he goes for. He gets the run of it, gets a handle on it, and then spills it right when he shouldn't have. Turns the wrong way, gives to his teammate there in Eilert, and Eilert goes searching and finds Clayton, who marks on a 45-degree angle and 30 metres out. He hasn't been busy today, Clayton.
No, he hasn't. He's had 5 kicks and 2 handballs, only 7 touches.
They've played him as that pseudo centre-half forward, though, so he's done some team things. He hasn't been too bad.
Yeah, he just needs to... He hasn't had a touch more important than this today, that's for sure.
Will he kick it?
I'll back him in.
All right,
He's usually pretty steady under pressure.
Oh, you're dead right, Poppy. He has gone straight through the middle. 45-degree angle, 45 metres out. And Mark Clayton has put a much-needed goal on the board for Port Adelaide. You're not very often wrong, Poppy, I've got to say.
No, I was only wrong once, and that's when I said I was wrong, but it worked out that I was right. Port Adelaide 10-8-68, Central District 10-11-71. You're listening to 5DN Football.
Adelaide get the centre break, but the Bulldogs get it on the rebound towards the arc of 50. Oh, dragged down, free kick to be paid to Chris Gowans right on the arc of 50. He's trying to call for a 25-metre penalty or some sort of help because he knows he's too far out to score. He's going to have a ping all the same as the three-quarter time siren sounds, so we'll ride this with Chrissy Gowans, see how he goes, but before this kick, Central District 10-11-71, lead by 3 points. Port Adelaide 10-8-68. We are in for a ripping last quarter. The ball's with Chris Gowans. He's on about a 50-degree angle. It's a bit tight. He's on the outer side, kicking towards the southern end. You wouldn't think. He's going to have to go to the top, and he's going to need Nathan Chapman's help, Darren Bennett or someone else, and that's just wobbled off the side of the boot and hardly gone 35. Not his best effort, but all the same had to have a crack. Three-quarter time then, the score, Central District 10-11-71, Port Adelaide 10-8-68. Kane Ackland to do the ruck work, so the young kid Buckler's finally been given a bit of a spell. Let's see if he comes back and has an impact in the final term. Ackland got up high, got the tap down, only as far as Arnott. He was wrapped up immediately. Umpire said taken too high to boot. So Arnott will take the kick out of the centre for the Bulldogs. They're kicking to the Northern End, yes.
Have we changed our tips?
No, sticking with the Bulldogs.
Sticking with Port Adelaide.
Thanks.
I'm going to Port Adelaide, yeah.
You turncoat. Typical Norwood supporter.
That's exactly right.
Here we go, Gowans from the centre with Elston on the mark.
And who am I going to pick? A draw. A draw. We'll have our first draw for the year. First go.
Gee, Jack, there's one. Didn't think of that, actually. It's a good call. Go short, the Doggies, with just 32 players, or 30 players, forward of centre. The Doggies go for it. They'll threaten the 50 here, but Fegert will float across the front and mark, and does, and stamped, and that's dangerous.
He's losing it.
Reportable.
Undisciplined, he's going to come off too.
Has to be reported.
Watch Snyder give him the hook here.
He has to report him then.
Wait a
He's
minute.
taken it away from him.
Just take it off.
Well, you've got to
That's
ask.
soft.
No, well, you've got to ask, did he
Hello.
make contact? I saw what he did. Did he make contact, or was
Stopped
it just...
him.
Well,
Stopped him.
did he actually make contact? Because if the umpire saw what we thought we saw, well, then he would have been reported and taken off.
Can you be reported for attempted strike?
Well, I think it's happened before. Didn't some famous man...
Glenn Archer's been done for attempted
Didn't
strike.
Peter Geary miss a grand final for it?
That's true too.
Many years ago. Here we go. Back to modern times. And nicely done. Young Rains dances around one, but the
Not that
disposal wasn't great because Sculler took the mark in front of Eilert. And he wants desperately to play on. Hopwood was an option. Slade is another. I tell you what, the kick is
out in the pool.
Centimetre unperfect. Because Slade took it on the wrong side of the boundary line.
Why do it, Poppy? What's the use in gaining 5 metres tops with that?
With that sort of risk.
That risk, that's the risk.
Rains goes looking for Burns and finds him. Burns has got a bit of the ball, but never within striking distance of the goals, and that's usually where he's most dangerous. Burns goes short. Kick was too short, I thought. No.
Gee, only just carried the distance.
Just followed O'Loughlin. Now, I'll ask you this question, and you can give me an answer when we get another break in play here, as O'Loughlin goes looking for Funk and finds him. If he kicks 5 metres back from the mark, isn't the kick from the mark to where the ball's taken, or is it from where you dispose of the ball?
From where he kicks. Yeah, where you
Okay,
kick
fair enough. So Funk now goes short, finds McDowell, who marks inside 50 on a 45-degree angle, maybe a bit harsher than that because the boundary line's just 5 metres to his right-hand side when he kicks. But he is dangerous at goals, and one thing he can do with Nathan, he's writing him off too easily. He's kicked 3 today. That won't make 4. In fact, that'll go straight out of play on the full. So the free kick will go to Quinton Graham for the Doggies.
Poppy, even a point at this stage of the game is very important. Can't afford to do that.
Wasted opportunity, Jack. You've talked about them this afternoon. Goes short, finds Hay. So the Bulldogs keep possession. They're in front of the bowling club. Grandstand side here of the Alberton Oval. 71 plays 68. Free kick, the umpire's found a free kick. He's bringing it downfield. It's going to Chris Gowan, so the niggling's starting to work. Elstone must have...
I was actually watching that.
It's pulled him to the ground.
Gowans ran at him and intimidated him, and Elston grabbed him and threw him to the ground, as Jack said. Play on's the call. I'm not sure what that hit, but where went to bounce it? It skidded, picked up nicely by Hopwood towards centre half forward where Hereda is roaming. Shell comes through, gives to Thomas, who'll kick to the top or close to the square. Funk has the sit, takes the mark in front of Bellow, and he's got a couple of options grandstand side, so he's keen to find either Ackland or Elston, and Elston's going to be the first player there. Under pressure, gives to Ackland, who dances, but he's running backwards, and the kick running backwards is pretty hard. Ashley, after a grubber, gets possession of the ball. Hopwood's going to open up the door for Gowans, he hopes, but can't. There'll be a bounce down, or will there? No, the umpire calls play on. He was blinded by the sun, you're right. Gowans puts his head at the bottom of the pack. Hopwood comes in late and heavy and illegally. There is a free kick and a 25-metre penalty.
Come on, don't the umpires rule this one? Footy, and they come and find a soft free kick after.
I don't know if it was soft. He jumped straight into his back.
I thought the free kick was there. I just didn't see the 25 or the 50 as it turns out.
Mouthing off. Might be mouthing off. He just keeps it.
Elston's got the footy. Chris Gowans was the infringer. He's still talking to the umpire too. He'd be well advised to keep the trap shut. Elstone's got it, still too far out to score.
Francis is a good option here.
But he can't
55 metres out.
He can't bomb it long. They've got too many players back, Centrals. They're flooded.
Goes short to Francis. Now he's still 55 out, tighter angle, but we know he can really thump a footy.
There's a bit of a gap there, and who's going to find it? Clayton's the first one to get in there.
He's looking for the discipline stuff.
There is
Got to
no
keep moving.
Port
They're
Adelaide
standing
player
still.
within 25 metres of goals.
They're standing still. He's gone to the discipline spot, top of the square. Big five. Centrals have got some players there. Port get a couple up, couldn't quite. Krieg good at ground level, shares it away, and they come out of trouble now. The Bulldogs have got it out of side. They're away and running, having a couple of bounces. They're looking all right now. They should set something up. 3 bounces, make it 4. They're going to travel the full distance. Rebounding footy. It's what we've seen all afternoon. Almost ran too far. Popped it over the top. Shell gives it. They've got some runners now. Elijah Ware goes in short. The lead's on. He's found Slade. He couldn't quite take the mark, but he's pushed in the back, the umpire said. Steinberger at his plays on. Gets dragged to the ground. Shakes the tackle. Closes in on goal. Right foot. He's kicked it. Well, it was hard and it wasn't pretty, but it was effective. Central District have gold. Central District 11-11-77. Lead Port Adelaide 10-8-68. You're listening to Footy on 5DN.
Central District do, it may be too much. Polton goes inboard. Now they need big fella to take a mark here. Couldn't quite. McDowell, he just needs a tap. Kick up the ground! How good has Butler been?
He's sensational, this kid.
Port Adelaide, 11-8-74. Bring the margin back to 3 points.
Hang on a minute. It's touched.
Central 11-8-77.
What happened, fellas? The goal umpire ran out and said it was touched.
Touched from where?
God knows.
Where was it touched from? It was kicked off the boot.
There was no one in front of him.
Unless the goal umpire thought that it was a Central District player that got boot to ball, because there wasn't a hand to be seen.
Yeah, good luck.
Goodness me, that was interesting. Kick towards half forward by the Bulldogs. Mark taken by Thurgett. Poppy, you scratch your head and work that one out, because I thought it was a goal too. Ball now with Brown, the skipper for Port Adelaide, on centre wing. Pokes a pass over the top, short. Should find Isla. Sun got in his way, rather it was Rains. He's had good enough to regather. Gets it to Matthew Ashley from the arc of 50. Looking for Butler again. What can you do? The big fella, hands on it, not quite. Off the ground. Hands on the ground. Couldn't get it there off the high. Clever enough, Hay. And here comes Centrals once more with the rebound. Slade has to get past O'Loughlin. Takes the mark in front of him. Scoots around on his right boot, looking for Shelley's a long way up the ground. Centre wing. He needs to turn it inside out. Does so. Kicks with his right boot. Back in the corridor. Can a mark get taken here? Not quite. Ware was there. He couldn't do it though. Kick from O'Loughlin back towards centre half forward. Polton. The AFL players with the extra fitness sometimes stand up late in these SANFL contests, and Polton's been good this afternoon. Ronnie Burns should have some juice in the tank. Ball out of bounds, out of side, throw in.
Yeah, 22 possessions for Colton.
He couldn't raise a gallop then. He was tough.
Well, if anything, that last passage of play showed was that maybe the way to attack the Port Adelaide goals is actually from the outer side of the ground, because obviously that sun is a big problem as you go forward from this side, grandstand side. This is where they need a winner inside 50. They may have one. Burns, he usually snaps these up, doesn't he? And he does. Ronnie Burns kicks Port Adelaide's 11th of the afternoon. They're 11-9-75. They are within distance of Central. 11-11-77 on 5DN football. where Port Adelaide are mounting a surge forward from the back half, and they might find Rains. They do. He was off with a corky. He's come back on and contributing well. He's got a couple of runners. If he can move the ball quickly, he chips it forward, but it's enough still to find Eilert. Did he mark? No. Play on to the call. Dances around Schooler once, twice, 3 times, and finds Clayton, or does he? Stolen by Rains, who gave the ball initially, centres it. Can't find Butler. Now Thomas. Handball's off, and off to Hyde will open up the door for the Doggies to surge forward through Ware.
Here they go. Ware gets up towards centre wing, looking for a high mark there from Cochrane. Couldn't take it, but gets it to ground level. Cleverly beat 3. Across to Evil Roy Slade. Turn of speed. Got a vacant goal square. How's it going to bounce? Will Figa get back there? No! He's kicked a beauty. Evil Roy Slade from 60 metres out. He's just opened the gap a bit more for the Bulldogs. Goal number 12. 12-11. 83. They lead Port Adelaide 11-9-75. This is an absolute cracker right here on 5DN Footy.
Minutes in, final quarter, 8 points the margin, favouring the visitors. Central District 12-11, Port Adelaide 11-9. Centre break important. Arnott goes searching. Can he find? Yes, he can. Gowans, Chris. Quick kick towards right half forward flank. Race is on. Ware wins that race. Opens the door for Slade. Left foot kick. Centre half forward. James Gowans. Punch down. Ware there again. He's been good, young Ware, and kicks from 50. Good mark. Archie, no, tapped on both sides of the line. Therefore, through for a behind. 12-12, 84. Port Adelaide 11-9-75. 13 minutes, final quarter, 5DN football, Jack.
Still plenty of time, Poppy. Both sides have been hard at it all game, and it's still certainly not over, but I feel if Central get the next goal, it might just be enough. Goals are hard to come by at the minute.
Corey Archie, rather funk it is, I should say, that brings the ball in from full-back. Kicks it. Oh! Big fly there from Elijah Ware once more. Left the ball behind. This could be costly as Port Adelaide start to mount something. O'Loughlin towards centre half forward. Clayton's there. Couldn't quite with the outstretched fingertips. He gathers it at ground level though. Snaps around the corner. She's an up and under. Needs something. Butler, he's caught behind. Fisted away. Numbers with Central District, but coming through, Clayton did well to turn it over. It comes out the way of Fabian Francis. He kicks to the discipline spot. McDowell, can he get there? McDowell, no.
Took his own man out.
The captain's taken the mark. No, the umpire said play on. He's got a headache too, Brown. He's up a bit groggy, plays in on top of the footy. Eventually, the umpire comes in for a bounce 40 metres out directly in front, Maggie's goal.
That would hurt.
It was unfortunate, but at the same time, it's what you want to see from your players. Just eyes for the ball only. Put yourself in the position. Now, it was unfortunately McDowell and Brown that collided. And it's just one of those things that happened, but it could be crucial, really. Ball bounced down. Scholar gets the tap to Ware. Ware from defensive 50 kicks nicely, read by Wakeland to cut Shell off at the pass, but he needs to win the ball. Taken off it illegally was Wakeland. Free kick. Good play, Darryl Wakeland, been steady, got an option inboard, and it's Funk. Funk's got it now and plays on quickly. He'll change direction, or does he? He needs to find a winner right here, right now. Clayton, Eilert, ground level, runs into trouble, good enough to get out to Rains. He's got enough time to sum up the best option. He feels as though that is Ackland long. Ackland had the hands, but he couldn't get him around the ball. And now, as they've done fairly well today, Central District run it out from the last line of defence through Arnott, who's got off to high grandstand side back pocket.
He does play down. Keep an eye on him, fellas. Central District have the ball grandstand side. It's with Hopwood. He has to get around Rains. He gives him a big don't argue. Tries to float a pass over for Swatala. Runs onto it well. Cleverly done, Heath Hopwood. Swatala runs his full measure. Kick to centre half forward. Fee gets there. Zoning it off, and the ball runs towards the boundary line. A good result in the end for the Bulldogs. Ball out of bounds. Half forward flank. Grandstand side. It is a 9-point ball game in favour of the Dogs.
Yeah, boys, Herrera went down heavy, but he's back on his feet. They need him back there. One little problem they've got, the kick banging the ball long into Butler at full forward, Port Maggies, and it's just not happening for him at the minute.
Well, Swatala knocks the ball 25 metres in the Doggies' direction, but the only player there is Archie. Ashley under pressure, good enough to release Funk. Now Funk says, my goodness, takes 2 bounces, wants to draw a player, runs into O'Loughlin and handballs more in hope than anything else. That's the pressure of the situation. Brown back to Funk, who's worked hard well. Centre half forward, he gives it to Brown. Brown's in trouble, knocks looks it forward, and Burns, he hopes, will be on the end of it, but he's got 3 to beat. Guess what he does? Has he earned the free kick? No. Play on's the call. He can't believe it, and then he butters up and gets the ball back again, robs it, and again, Ronnie, you little legend, get in there. He grabs it, he works hard, he's collapsed, and he needs resuscitating in the defensive 50, but Simon Arnott and Paul Thomas run the ball out from half-back flank.
Well, it was tough and tight in there. Ronnie Burns almost produced the miracle, but the Dogs hold on. Half forward, they go across towards Slade. He's legged by Francis. The umpire says no play on, and Slade's got the footy out of side.
Certainly would have been a Glenn Burns Fabrics magic moment if Ronnie could have got the ball there, Poppy.
No doubt about that. Slade now bombs it to the arc of 50. Shell comes out. Hands up. Good mark. Oh, I said it was important that he keep presenting himself. He's had a tough job all day on Wakeland. Wakeland really has done well, but Shell's just kept competing, and that is important. Quick in his change for the Magpies. Wilson comes on. Elstone comes off.
Can hardly raise a gallop, Elstone.
The ball, the 9-point buffer. Central's in front by that margin. Shell's having a shot for goal. He's going to kick from 52 metres. He's pretty much directly in front. The crowd has hushed a bit to ride this kick, because this really would be almost a sealer if Central District can get it home. Not quite. Ackland there on the mark. Ball fisted away from him by Archie. Still in play. No score. Short hand pass towards Island. He keeps it in play. He doesn't.
I thought that stayed in play. The whole ball has to be out.
Give the umpire the benefit of the doubt. He was right there. I'll give him credit for being in the right position, but it did look a bit dodgy from up here, I've got to agree.
We're away out.
I don't know why he took it so close. He had plenty of time.
Yes, and he had a bit more room than he had to use. Nevertheless, holding the man. Free kick. Jay Gowans will get the free kick. He was held. And he'll get the free kick, and I tell you what, he's deadly around goal, is Jay Gowans. He's kicked 2 today already. This could be 3, but this is by far and away the most important. Obviously, the visitors are 12-12, Port Adelaide are 11-9, and we're starting to edge towards time on.
Well, I reckon it'll be the sealer, boys. I know it's a pretty early call to say it, but goals are so hard to come by. This could be it.
So as Hereda comes off and Graham goes on, Jay Gowans goes towards goal. Off the boot, it may not make the distance. It does, but it's offline, which he's not happy about whatsoever, nor should he be. 12-13-85, 10-point ball game. Port Adelaide 11-9-75.
Port's problem, we saw it before, Funk going through the middle of the ground. He held onto the footy too long. I can't fully blame him. He just doesn't have an option at centre-half forward. As you said, Jack, they're bombing along to Butler. It's not working for them. They've got to find a winner, some way of getting through centre-half forward. They bring it in. They come to O'Loughlin. What can he manufacture? Kick's not a good one. It goes in the direction of Di Pasquale. He gets it across to Matthew Ashley. They've got some runners here. Maybe they can run it through centre-half forward. It's with Island. He kicks it looking for McDowell. He's made some space. Getting back. Well done. Tyson Hay, the sun did get in his eyes. Not in Hay's eyes, though. Good defensive work again. He's had a good afternoon. And here come the Bulldogs, Poppy, on the rebound once more. They release it to the outer side. Kick inside 50. Luke Cowan, what can he do? Big fly. Fegan. He's been resolute all afternoon in defence. You can never accuse him of not trying Nigel Fegan. But here's a poor kick. The uh-ohs, because the Frenchman Yves Simonella has taken that defensive kick to the arc of 50 by O'Loughlin, and Simonella's taken it. And we'll have a shot from goal. Again, he'll kick from 55. Players have struggled a bit with the distance. I think it's just the tired legs. We'll see if the Frenchman's got anything left to give this a ride home. We just get the feeling 10-point buffer. If Centrals can get one more, it's going to be very hard for the Maggies to claw it back. We've played 18 minutes of the final term.
He's going long. He's going to have a shot.
You back him in. Let's get a call, Jack.
No, he'll just be short. I don't think he'll make that distance.
Distance won't be a problem. Accuracy is his biggest concern.
Let's ride it now. Distance is all right. Has he got the carry? Not quite a bit off to the right. Minor score. Right on the line, fisted through. Another minor score. That makes it an 11-point buffer now. 2 straight kicks in it. Funk to bring the ball back in for the Magpies.
Interesting finish, isn't it? Great start to the SANFL season. Big crowd at the parade Friday night to see Sturt defeat Norwood. Great game yesterday with West getting over the line against South Adelaide, and a big crowd today here at the Alberton Oval for 5TN's match of the day to see Port Adelaide really take it up to the reigning premiers. O'Loughlin goes inboard. Brown taken out of the contest, I thought. Davis comes in. Now, he's usually been good under pressure. No exception. Under pressure also Ashley kicks towards McDowell. This is an important contest. Deliberate would be a courageous call. I think if he was any closer to the boundary line...
That's what saved him, Poppy. He was probably a good 20, 30 metres out.
Yeah, I think that's
Mind
fair.
you, what was his intention?
Well, true.
Thank you very much.
Ball to be thrown back in on intersection of boundary and 50. Ackland to Polton. Polton, top of the square, across the face and through for a minor score. Probably the only thing that's let him down today, Polton. He's kicking for goal on one occasion there in the first quarter. In fact, it was in the second quarter when he was underneath the scoreboard. He had a shot at goal and popped it up. It finished well short, and on that occasion offline. Ware brings the ball back into play.
Loose players on the outer side again for the Bulldogs. They've run the ball down the outer side all afternoon. Quinton Graham's taken the mark on centre wing, just held up there by Davis. He elects to play on now because Davis goes chasing an opponent. Quinton Graham long to the arc of 50. They're happy to let the ball carry over the back of the pack, the Magpies, because O'Loughlin's there. Taps it back in board. Might not have been a good move. They've got numbers. Cochrane taken high. He was fell unfairly. The umpire hasn't said play on, has he? Cochrane hasn't moved. Keep an eye on him. He had his head ripped off. Jack, you are absolutely kidding me.
Good decision. Hip and shoulder. Don't take it out of the game.
No, you can't hip and shoulder someone in the head.
Across the shoulder you can. His head got in the way.
Goodness me, ball out of bounds as an end result, 40 metres out. The ball is in
I've got to say, the umpire was right there.
And look at him, he's up now. Good stage.
Well, because he's not dead, that means no free kick.
Port Adelaide 11-10, 76. Central 12-14, 86. 10-point margin. Central inside 50. Ball thrown back in. Archie contests the ruck. This is an important play. Fegan puts his body on the line. Francis works hard at the bottom. Wants to get the free kick. Can't. Bounce down. Straight in front of the Doggies' goal, but 35 metres from home.
Gee, Slade's a tough nut too. He went straight at the ball and he was going straight towards Fegan, and he did not stop. I know I would have the woofer valve going like there's no tomorrow running into Nigel Fegan's. Chance for the Magpies. Islett's got it. Kicks it out of defensive 50. Hopwood's there. Rains is going to get there to spoil. Can't. Hopwood takes the mark. He should send them Bulldogs back into attack now. He's in the shadows of the new stand in front of the sponsor sign. He goes short and he has someone free, and it's Marco Bello. Been running all day. Had a busy afternoon, Marco Bello, Big John.
He has. He's coming out for his 16th touch.
Kicking from 55 out, 45-degree angle.
Cockie's problem. I would have thought that Cocky would have been crucial around about this time, either in the midfield, up forward. He's the sort of player that could, you know, come into the game very quickly. He came off obviously midway through the last quarter, but I would have thought they were saving him for this exact situation.
Must have an injury. Bello goes long to the square. It's across the face in the goal square. Mark be taken. No. Rush behind once more. They're doing all the attacking, the Bulldogs. They can't get a major score, but they are still in front. The buffer now 11 points. 12-15, 86. Port Adelaide 11-10, 76. I should say 12-15, 87.
Cockatoo Collins did call out to the bench when he did come off, okay. So it may be a problem, a leg problem.
I guess in saying all of that, at 29, when you're sitting on the bench for 30 minutes, it's pretty hard to get back into it again, isn't it?
Yes.
Sibonella taken high by Ackland. No, play on's the call. He was surrounded by Ashley and Brown, and Ackland was Sibonella. And there'll be a bounce down at centre half forward true for the Doggies. They're kicking to the northern end. And they're leading by 11 points as we enter time on. Wakeland grabs it, kicks it quickly. They need a little bit of luck, I reckon, just to go their way. At this stage, it's just not working for them. Davis, who's been good for all of the day, takes the ball, can't get around a couple of Doggies men, but that ball is still in play, unbelievably, and there could be the luck. 1-2, Wilson back to Funk, and there's a little bit of room up forward, but he just hangs onto it a bit too long. Now Polk needs to find and does. Now Brown is captain. Oh, he's got a short option. No, won't take it. Now Brown needs to work back quickly, my friend, because you're in time on and you're 2 kicks from home. Brown, this will actually take one of his best kicks, as I reckon he's about a 45-metre boot at best.
Yep, he's got a 7-iron tucked into his Puma screws, I can tell you. He's a bit of an up and under sort of kicker. He's not a penetrating kick, but he, as the skipper, should kick this.
Got to kick the distance from here.
About a 15 to 20-degree angle. Let's go with the right boot. He hasn't. It's gone up and under, Jack, and has lobbed in the goal square. Juggled through, minor score. Not what the Magpies needed. 77 plays 87. We'll check some scores quickly around the other grounds.
Around the grounds, just a prospect. Glenelg coming back. They trail North Adelaide. It's 10-17, 77 to North, 16-10, 106 at Prospect. And back to 5DN's match of the day at Alberton.
Where Port Adelaide are 11-11, 77. Central District 12-15, 87. As Corey Wingard just told you, the ball on the half-forward flank for the Magpies, left half-forward flank, in front of a crowd of around about 6,000 plus, you would think.
Probably looks like Shell's going back to put another defender back there for Centrals. They're going defensive now. Which
then drags Wakeland in, which starts to busy up the forward line, does it? That's the way the Doggies like to do it too. Congest that forward 50, make it hard. But in Shell going down there, actually, I've got to say, Wakeland's probably not a bad option.
Well, they're going to shut, looks like they've shut up shop though.
So the ball's half forward flank still, and there is 30 players forward of centre. as Central, try to block it up. Port Adelaide threatening the boundary line and threatening forward 50. Spills over the boundary line. Boundary throw in to take place.
Good move. He's kept a cool head, Coach Roy Laird. He hasn't panicked. The Magpies really threw it at him in the first half and kept coming in the third term, but just stuck to their game plan, all the players, and Roy Laird has done the right thing, and the players look like responding. Bulldogs inside defensive 50. Quick snap by Marco Bello towards the centre wing. O'Loughlin should be the first there. Chris Gowans is hot in his hammer. O'Loughlin turns him inside out, squeezes a handball out to Matthew Ashley. Pressure still immense. Hand pass towards the boundary line. Big Shepherd trying to come on from Wilson. O'Loughlin's got it now. Left foot kick inside 50. Can they mark? Arnott should have taken it. Didn't. It's at the back. Loose ball. Magpies, what can they do? Ball's held to the player in there, McDowell, and the umpire's forced to come in for a bounce. In front of the scoreboard, which has Central District 87, Port Adelaide 77, 10-point buffer. We've played a couple of minutes into time on.
The game deserves another goal by Port here, don't you think? The game's been close all day. Let's get a goal, Port.
All right, here we go. This could be the one, and they threaten goal around the corner and offline again. So the margin, wait a minute, it's a free kick out in the full. Okay, fair enough. 10 points the margin still. The free kick to be taken. It looks as though it could be Thomas down there or Krieg with the ball. Right back pocket. He'll come across the face of goal to off to Hyde, who's left back pocket, and with a bit of room to move. He takes 2 bounces now and runs. Considers a third, takes it. Draws a player, gives the ball. Nice work. Shell, who's worked from full forward to full back. That's just to get part of the passage of play, and to Chris Gowans. And this is where they can break you on the break.
That's
Swatala.
That is poor.
Coincidentally, I reckon it was good. The Bulldogs did that well. They ran, and Swatala ran hard and ran into the gap. Port Adelaide weren't back there.
Poor by Port, sorry.
Yeah.
They just let them. They didn't touch the ball.
No, they were sucked right up the ground, Port Adelaide, and then just didn't work hard enough to come back.
Won't be happy with that, the coach.
Equally slick by the Bulldogs, and again, I just think in the last couple of minutes we're seeing that the disciplined side, the side that knows each other a little bit better, is getting those crucial goals or crucial scores, crucial attacks in this last term. Port Adelaide will get to know each other as the season goes on. We said they've got big Craig Parry, second in their best and fairest, to come back into this side. He'll be a helpful hand at centre half forward. The kick from Swatala's not a good one. Really could have finished the game and buried it off if it's not already. Swatala misses with that one. So it's back to an 11-point buffer. Central District 12-16-88. Port Adelaide 11-11-77.
Last roll of the dice for Port here.
There we go. I didn't see Fabian Francis touch the ball on his boot coming out from fullback. I thought he just handball, but nevertheless, I didn't think you could do that. Anyway, play on's the call, and here we go. Krieg under pressure. Can he find Schooler? Schooler dropped what he might have taken, but was good enough to work at ground level. Coming through was Sibonella. He releases it to Swatala. Now Slade drills one through. Krieg around the corner. Left foot kicks, going to threaten the boundary. But with the sit, Wilson drops what maybe he should have taken. Siren goes. The Doggies win the first match on 5DN football for season 2004, and it's a beauty too. Port Adelaide 11-11-77. Central District 12-16-88. A good start to what should be a good season. Steve Jacquia.